Guess who's back?
Chucky?
$6 million peso man is back.
Better, stronger, faster.
Okay, everybody, we're back. It's Heroes at Large. Let's do roll call real quick.
You got Drewski over here.
I'm Batman. I'm awesome.
Badass James. Dynamite.
And NEEHIGH's back.
Life is a great big bang. Wherever there's a hand, you'll find the Spider-Man.
NEEHIGH is back, and I am AVAZ. Let's welcome back NEEHIGH, everybody.
Yay, welcome back.
Arriba, arriba.
Round of applause.
I don't think they put everything back the way it was supposed to be.
They had a couple extra pieces.
They're spare parts.
Well, there's always extra pieces.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk a couple of,
New trailers?
New trailers again.
Okay.
We want to talk a little bit about, what are we just going to talk about?
We have a couple of trailers dropped from the last show we did. We have Swamp Thing. Well, new Swamp Thing came out.
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that.
And then, what's it
So
called?
good. So good.
We also got trailers for Hush.
Yeah.
Animated DC movie.
And then
Can't go wrong.
next week, I think next week, Batman and Ninja Turtles comes out.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
really?
It and Child's Play got a trailer as well.
Did it?
Oh, yeah, it did.
Oh, I didn't see the new one.
Well, it's not nothing.
It's
new.
the first.
Did we?
Yeah. And then we're going to end up with Avengers Endgame.
Spoiler, because the spoiler ban was lifted.
We're gonna go deep
Spoilers.
into it.
Spoilers.
Deep. We're gonna get right, all the way, most.
Ant-Man deep.
So first, what trailer are we gonna talk about first, guys?
Well, first, before we get the whole thing started, this is not planned, but I saw something on my feed that I want to see if you guys want to accept the challenge. They are doing a Batman 5K in September 21st.
For Batman?
In LA.
This town needs an enema.
Starts at the Bat Signal, ends at the Bat Signal.
Ooh.
So I was wondering if you guys are down to go do the Batman 5K September 21st.
I'm there. Send me the information.
Yeah, September. That sounds like a good. Yeah,
It'll be fun. And
make
if
that.
you guys want to come down and join us and hang out, it's a 5K. I think it's all the proceeds go to charity. I think it's about $49.
Yeah.
And you get some Bat swag. And it's put on by DC, so it's a legit.
Oh, that's cool.
So we gotta wear like capes?
It's a legit thing.
I'll wear a
Well,
cape.
dude, you have to. You should wear a cape.
But it's a Batman 5K. I just got the information. I'll see if I can post up the information so you guys can see it.
I'm gonna
So
come
you
with
guys
my
can
cowl and board shorts.
Yes.
You need to search
I hope they have like an after party.
Well, that's the thing. It's on a Saturday, and it starts at 5:00.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be at night.
Because I want to do the bat.
That's awesome. So you'll be able to see the bat symbol.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
figured it'll be good for every single one of us because obviously we have to get ready for a 5K.
We do.
Yeah, I mean,
I know I do.
I mean, it'll be like, you don't have to run it. You could jog it or you could walk it, but
It's not a race.
Well, yeah, it's not a race.
yeah, but I mean, I think it'll be
That's
fun.
a long walk.
I'll walk
No,
this time.
it's only 2.5 miles. That's what I think a 5K
Oh, yeah.
is.
So
2.5
5K is
miles.
about
Oh, okay.
maybe 3 miles, something like that.
Yeah. So it's not going to be that bad. And plus,
Like 3 miles.
I know, just measly.
I think it's just 2.5.
For a little, I don't know. I don't know. I've never ran a 5K or walked a 5K or
Well,
participated. in
you
a
are
5K.
now.
That's
You're
what
gonna
I'm
walk
saying.
a 5K now.
It's for a good cause. It's for Batman.
It's for Batman.
Kids for
Hey,
Batman.
If Batman tells you to go run, you gotta go run.
Yep.
So, if you guys are down to do it, we'll post up the information and we'll let you guys know.
Yeah, definitely
as
send me
we-
that
as we
link
prep.
so we can
Post it up.
show everybody.
Can we wear matching shirts that say Heroes at Large?
Ooh.
No.
And like banana yellow shorts?
I'm down.
Us three will be the heroes, and then Dynamite can be.
I'll be the at-large.
He can be the villain.
Well, there's 4 of us. We have 2 villains, 2 heroes.
Yeah, but the 3 of us really need to take that one on.
I'll throw pennies at everyone.
At least you require a team to take down.
Yeah.
Penny
I
Plum.
feel like a duo versus duo would have been cool, but anyways.
So yeah, we'll post up
Batman
the information, and it's 80th anniversary. It's whole year of Batman now.
That's right.
So
yeah.
I think year, and they're still doing the Wonder Woman run.
It's the holy year of Batman.
So yeah, they were doing it's also a 5K.
That one's
for
been, yeah,
Wonder
they've been
Woman.
doing that for a couple of years now, right?
No, it started this year. I think it's going into
No.
last year. It started last year.
Yeah, last year. I
So
saw
they had
last
one in
year.
LA and San Diego and San Francisco.
Something like that, yeah.
They just had one in Texas.
You said this Batman 5K is where?
Los Angeles. It's in the starts off in the LA library.
Okay.
So I got some information. We'll post it up so you guys can see it, and then you guys could register in there and tell us if you guys are going to participate.
Come run for my cause.
Come on and run.
I really do hope it ends in an alley.
That would be awesome.
Oh, man.
That would be awesome.
So, okay, let's get into Sonic. You seen the trailer?
And here's his picture. Tell us what you think. It's a teeth.
It's
that
a
I find
teaser.
that I find
the eyes.
Well, the eyes too.
No,
And
it's a CGI. Looks
I think
weak.
the eyes
No,
too.
it's the whole design of the creature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not, but the teeth. It's what
No,
bothers
it's the
me.
eyes. I think it's the eyes.
It doesn't look animated enough. It doesn't look cartoony.
It doesn't
It
look.
looks-
It doesn't look like Sonic.
It looks more
It
human.
looks weird.
Yeah. It looks like a blue hedgehog.
But we've already
Well,
heard
isn't
that
that what
they're
he's
gonna
supposed to
fixing
be?
it, right?
No.
He does not look like a blue hedgehog. Have you
He
seen
said-
a hedgehog?
he
Hedgehogs
said-
are small and like.
Do you
Do
they're
you know what a
like-
hedgehog looks like?
They're like little things.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Never mind.
They're not. They don't look like.
Things.
You know
Gross
what?
blue
I
things.
hate the fact that there was lack of tails in that trailer. You'd figure
Oh,
there'd be tails.
well,
in it.
they show a picture of it too, and it looks kind of funny.
Hedgehogs have tails.
Yeah, they're gonna show all the characters.
They
No,
have
Tails is a character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fox-looking thing, right?
Yeah, with the two
The
tails.
red one, yeah.
Tails.
Okay, they
Hello.
they show a picture of it too, and it's all bad.
Is there a
No, but you
tails?
guys heard about how
Dr. Robotnik
social media blew up. Everybody hated the way he looked.
So
So
they're
now
gonna
the
fix it.
director said they're going to go back and
Yeah,
fix
it's
it.
Sonic. Who doesn't?
But if there, what do he?
You think it's
I'm
gonna
probably
save
the thing
the
is
movie?
like, oh, okay, well we'll fix them. Don't worry. Boom, new shoes, done.
Huh.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say what exactly they're going to do to change it.
Yeah.
I think even the creator of Sonic has no input because he came out on social
Sega.
media and he was even talking about like, here it is, guys, what we've all been waiting for, and yada yada. And then after the director said he was going to change the look, he was like, well, this is what you asked for, so you're going to get it. So he's kind of like,
Up in the air.
yeah, and he's like he's got no input, no say whatsoever.
Well,
He's not taking sides on anything.
I like Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not gonna say I played every single one of his games and
Yeah.
Yeah.
all
But
that
you
good
played-
stuff.
you played
I
You
it.
have to
played
play
it.
the first one, the
Yeah.
classic.
And
Sega.
but there's something I just didn't like this design.
But then if you
No,
guys
that's
could,
weird.
if that's all you guys remember from Sonic is like the original Sonics,
Yeah.
there's
Well-
been a lot of just floppy Sonic games. So Sonic kind of has this
Yeah.
reputation of just flopping. Whether
Yeah.
it's in his games, whether it's in
No.
he just comes out as it. It's hard to do something good for Sonic because he came out so epic when it first came out. It's hard to add to that.
Well, I mean, I think the last decent Sonic game that I played was back in the day was Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
I think that was the last one. Then it just
that was from Dreamcast, right?
I think so. It changed, and it's kind of like it wasn't a racing game anymore. They made it.
Yeah.
They added every single character. So if Sonic the Hedgehog was super fast, they made every single character that could keep up with him.
Yeah.
I understand Knuckles, that was his rival, so I get that.
Mhm.
But every single character is kind of like, oh, okay, well, I could go just as fast as you, so now you're not special.
What do you guys think about Jim Carrey being in the movie?
I think it was the only saving grace of that movie.
I was excited about it at first, but then I saw it and I was the movie looks like it's really reared towards like a rated G audience,
Mhm.
which don't get me wrong, is cool. I'll take my son to see it. He's 9 and he's gonna get those silly laughs that kids get, but I don't think it's gonna be something that I'm gonna particularly enjoy sitting there with it because it's a lot of it's a lot of dumbed down kid humor. It looks like to me,
Yeah.
and I love Jim Carrey. I grew up
Jim
with Jim
Carrey
Carrey, so I
is-
Yeah.
love Jim
Funny.
Carrey. So I was super excited when I first heard about it, but then I seen it and it's just it's lacking.
Well, it looks better. I think he was probably the best part about the trailer. Was
Yeah,
Jim
well,
Carrey.
did you see the ending that they show him like
Yeah, when
the
he
classic?
plays Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, so
Well,
maybe
I
they're
don't know if
gonna.
that's the ending or that could be the beginning.
Oh, the beginning. They're
Yeah.
gonna show probably the Sonic world and
Some
then
kind of transition.
yeah.
Yeah,
That looked good.
I will give him that, but it just you can't. I can't base it on just.
And I hate
Right.
I hate that line. At some point in the trailer, Sonic says something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm here to save your universe."
Yeah,
Come
of
on.
course.
It's
He has
And now
okay.
it looked like he could open up portals with the gold rings.
Yeah,
So,
but
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
get it.
The coins.
The plot, of course, is a little weak. It's been done. If you go back though to like Apocalypse, nobody cared for the way Apocalypse looked.
Are you saying that
A lot of people.
blue characters tend to fail?
What I'm saying is, if the character doesn't look right, then you
Oh,
lost
yeah.
half your audience before the
Yeah.
movie even comes
That's
out.
very true.
You know what I mean? So
That's
if
very
they can somehow fix the way Sonic looks, then the movie might have hope.
Maybe.
Yeah,
But like I
but-
said, it also depends on how they fix it. The
Right.
studio
That's what I'm
paid.
saying.
Hopefully, the studio's not done with all the CG.
yeah.
Because kind of like I don't see a studio like we spent all this money on it, we're not gonna fix it because a couple fanboys don't like it. So that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like if the most amount of footage they got was just a trailer and they're still working on it, then the studio
Then it
will
would make
invest.
sense.
Kind of
I
like, look,
think
this
what
is we're
happened too that they seen how Pikachu looks, so probably people
Wow.
wanted to see that kind of look.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
he looks true to the game.
Yeah,
he looks
Pikachu
true to
looks
what
true
people.
to it,
doing.
yeah.
And all the other characters look realistic, but
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
still say
To a
true.
degree.
Mhm.
Because I mean, if you look at Charizard,
Charizard,
Charizard.
yeah, he
That
looks
looks great.
awesome.
Oh yeah.
It
Oh,
looks awesome.
Mewtwo.
Yes.
Mewtwo. Oh my god, when I
They
see
look
that, I
really
was
good.
like, yeah,
I haven't seen the movie. It just came out this
I'm
weekend.
gonna watch it soon.
I'm excited about it.
But
I've heard
no, but
mixed
it looked
reviews,
good.
I
It
still
looks
wanna see
good.
Anyways,
Yeah.
going back
So-
to Sonic.
Well, let's move on to another trailer. You want to talk about it?
Ooh, that looks good. I'm a big fan of horror, and I think I. Say
I love
that
horse
quite
too.
often. Horses.
So it's just-
No, the It Chapter 2 trailer looks
I like
really
the
really cool.
double
And
fist those.
if you're a fan of the the
Saga
book,
or
the It book or the old movies, then you knew exactly the second that trailer hit what was going on,
Yeah.
because that old lady scene is so.
So classic.
It is just a huge
It's
build.
creepy.
It's very creepy. It really puts you in her shoes, and you slowly kind of build the uncomfortableness.
Yeah, you feel creepy.
Yeah.
You want to leave, you want to get out, but she's being
Oh,
really
I
genuine.
made cookies.
You're like,
Oh, I don't want
Oh,
your
no.
cookies.
As soon as I saw it, I'm like, I
Leave.
really don't. Please don't
Yes,
drink.
just-
don't drink the tea. Just
Don't come
go.
in.
Yeah.
Just don't leave the tea down and walk away.
Yeah.
Oh, looks good.
Yeah.
Good.
Looks
and then
good.
I had heard somewhere that in the original It movie that came out was
It was a
2017.
Talking about
The TV series,
Yeah,
right?
it was a
The two,
mini
no, I'm talking about
series,
the 2017 remake.
Oh,
that they
okay,
did.
the first
was
one.
it 2017 or 2016? I don't remember.
But
But
they made two?
the chapter 1 to this one.
Oh yeah,
basically.
okay, no.
Oh.
Okay.
I remember I had heard that there was a scene that they really kind of cut out because it was supposed to be too graphic, where I guess at some point in the book or at some point in the movie, Pennywise devours a baby. So then I heard that they were actually going to put it in this movie because it's kind of reared more towards like
Yeah.
a very adult, very.
Yeah. Well, if you,
I mean,
if
it's
you had a
originally
kid,
for
like, oh, it's a clown movie. Let's go see it.
Yeah. It's no
No, I'm not saying
McDonald's.
that the first one was towards kids, but a lot of times when kids are involved, I think horror movies have to take a certain.
Oh,
a
because
certain
of the
turn.
children.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a certain turn. It's easier to make it scary for children. Like, for example, like the movie La Llorona. I don't know. Did you guys see that?
No, is it
La
any good?
Llorona? I haven't seen it
Oh.
either.
I heard good
But,
reviews on it.
The thing I like about movies like that is that when they're based around children, I think the movie makes you feel a little bit more defenseless.
Yeah.
Because really, what can a child do? No one's gonna believe you. Adults are all gonna say you're crazy. You're gonna try to fight this thing on your own. It gives you a new level of scaredness. But I think with this It Chapter 2, what they're trying to do is make it also scary. Make it like a scary thing for adults too. Adults aren't gonna be scared of the same things that kids are.
This
So
was
they have
gonna.
to up the-
This
up the
movie's gonna
horror
be
factor.
different than the first one.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Yes. I think the lineup looks good too.
Oh, yeah.
Was it
James McAvoy.
Yes, as Bill
Yeah.
Denbrough. That's gonna
Yeah.
be. He's gonna be good because he's the stutterer,
Yeah.
and I can already hear
Yeah.
So they
him
have
doing a great
Ed
stutter.
Helms. Is it Ed Helms?
No, Ed Helms. No, he's not in it.
big names are Bill Hader, James McAvoy,
And what's her name?
Jessica Chastain, and Bill Skarsgård. of
Bill
course.
Hader.
Or-
James McAvoy. I like James McAvoy, man. Everything he does.
Oh,
every
you
every
seen
movie I've
Glass?
seen him in. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He was awesome in Glass. He was awesome.
What was that? What was that other movie that Charlize Theron was in where she played a spy, like
Blonde.
a triple
Oh,
spy?
Atomic Blonde.
Atomic Blonde.
I didn't
James
see
McAvoy
that.
was in that one too. He was awesome in that movie.
He really does a lot.
He does.
Yeah, he's a good.
And he
he's a
gets
good
into a
actor.
character.
That's why I'm so excited to see him play Bill Denbrough, because he's the kid with the stutter. I feel like
Yeah.
he's gonna be able
Yeah.
to
Oh, he'll
kind of embody that a lot. And then of course Bill Hader is going to play Richie Tozier, which is the funny guy who actually he grows up to become a radio talk show host
Yeah.
Mhm.
in the book. So it's going to be really cool to see how he takes the character, because as kids he was one of the best parts of the
Yeah.
first. Is the chapter
Oh,
one
yeah.
movie was the kid. He was hilarious.
Yeah, he was awesome. The kid that plays him from Stranger Things. I mean, he was
Yeah, he
good.
did really, really
killed
good.
Well,
it.
the kids were great.
Yeah.
The kids were really,
It
really
was
good.
a great cast.
And one of them, he was in Shazam. One of them was in
Or
Shazam.
Shazam.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he
you're
was.
right.
It was the
The one who
I
had
can't
broke
remember.
cast.
with the asthma, the
Yeah.
asthma inhaler. He's gonna be played
Was he
by
the best
James
friend?
Ranson. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
Was he the best friend in Shazam?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
he was.
Freddy.
The one with the
He was Freddy.
Yeah.
Ah, that kid. See, it's like those child actors like that. Those are the ones I want to keep an eye on.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But we're all excited to see that It Chapter
It.
2. Get some good scares in us.
You know that one's gonna be huge.
I think
Yeah.
so.
That
I
one's
think it's
gonna
going to
be
be
huge.
epic. I'm actually probably going to listen to the audiobook on Audible again.
What? A book?
Pay me Audible.
No, it's really good.
Oh.
I love Audible.
When is that coming
Well,
out?
by the way, we're not sponsored by Audible, but if you want to sponsor us, please feel free.
It's just $14.99. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
You get your first book free. No. We're not sponsored.
One free book a month. I'll keep going. Stop it.
You know what I got? You know what I did get on there?
What's that?
I'm doing the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh, is that good?
There's so much Hobbit singing.
Oh, no.
So much Hobbit singing. And nothing against the narrator, but he's singing me the songs. When I know if I were reading the book, I would just
So you
like
kind
oh,
of
here's
turn
the
it
song.
down while you're on the road, like, ooh, let me just
Oh, and
not
it's
have this loud at a red light.
and it's really bad
You
limericks.
should bump
Are
that.
those Hobbit songs that guy's listening to?
It's really like, oh my god, it's really bad Hobbit songs. And
Folks,
obviously,
Dynamite just took nerddom to a whole nother
No
level.
devil, yeah.
it is really bad Hobbit songs.
You didn't
Come
bring
at
your
me.
Hobbit hymn?
But he's gonna finish it.
I bet I guarantee you he
I
knows the
have
song.
to.
Yeah, you can't
I
invest
have
in
to. I'm already in chapter 10, and every single chapter is like 2 damn songs. I'm like, just get to the end. I'm not even at the end yet. The prince
not at the end?
They're not even at the prince. I have to stop because it's kind of like there's so much singing.
And you're starting with Lord, the Fellowship, right?
Yeah,
Just the
start
Lord
with the
of Rings, not
Fellowship.
Oh
Hobbit.
my god, he's only in the first book.
Yes, and I still got
Imagine
2
the
more.
second
I'm
one.
hoping there's gonna be a lot less singing in the other books.
We should release a Hobbit album.
No, you know who did that?
What?
Leonard Nimoy.
Did he really?
Yeah, Leonard
Oh,
Nimoy.
you know what? You were right. He did do that.
He did.
Wow,
Leonard,
really?
Leonard, there is a
That is
Leonard
awesome.
Nimoy.
He did a song. It was like just off. He did.
It's
a song
about
off
Bilbo
the-
Baggins.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know Led Zeppelin did a Lord of the Rings song, but it's
Yeah,
not-
no,
it's not a
he
Hobbit song.
he
Yes,
did.
no,
He,
we're
it
close.
was folk music.
It's nothing like what
It's folk music. It was all folk
It was
music.
something like
Really?
Bilbo
Yeah.
Baggins.
Yeah,
That
it,
sounds awesome.
it is. It is.
Why don't you sing us a song?
You
Okay.
first.
No.
Yeah, chapter 2.
So do we
Yeah,
have,
get the book. If you guys haven't read the book, please read the book. It's really good, and it'll actually make the movies will make a little bit more sense from the TV show version or
Yeah.
the first one that they made on for
Well, I think-
ABC.
Yeah, I think the movies though. I think these movies are a lot closer
Close
to
to
the
the
book.
book.
No, they are.
think so.
They
Yeah,
are.
because
That's-
they changed it a lot.
A lot.
Well, they have to
lot.
because
In the
it's
TV
for
series?
TV. It was a miniseries.
The TV
Yeah.
series was actually a little bit closer to the book than the recent movie was, as far as chapter 1 goes. If
Was it?
yeah, it really was. A lot
With
of
the
the stuff
exception,
the
of,
kids,
exception of the red of the bathroom scene.
Well, yeah, that's why.
yeah,
I was
bathroom
thinking,
scene and
was
the-
added, yeah.
And when he bite his hand off because they didn't show that.
Yeah,
on
because
the
there was a
first-
couple
No.
of stuff that the
They can't
TV
show.
series they couldn't show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, so that's why I felt that the movie.
They,
was
I think the
closer.
TV series added more, but as far as like what the kids were scared of and how close it was to
I
like,
think
Oh,
because
the
it
TV series
was
felt
a
more
long
dramatic.
show. It was a longer
more.
show.
I think they had to
Longer
drag it out.
I
episode.
think it was like
the cool
three-
thing. The
Yeah,
one
it was a miniseries.
Mhm.
One of the best things about the book that's different than either the miniseries or the movies coming out is the way the book jumps back and forth between their
Right,
youth
right.
and their adulthood. It really it keeps you on the edge because you get to reading something that they're doing as children. You get really, really, really invested, and then he switches it, and then they're adults, and then you get invested as what they're doing as adults,
It goes
and then
back.
it goes right back.
Right
It is
back.
such a keep you on your toes
Okay.
book.
Now I've got a question for you because one of the things that it kind of irritated me, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that felt the same way about it, is at the end when he becomes the spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel about that? I mean, you good with that? Because I was never really good with that.
I think if you
Or is it maybe just because of the way it was portrayed?
I
in, like,
think
the
how
TV
it
movie?
yeah, it
looked
looked
and
really
TV
cheesy. in
movie.
the
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
I
It looked
think
really-
now they could do something better.
Hopefully.
Well,
At
it's
least I'm
gonna.
hoping they
In
will.
the book, he was a giant spider.
So
The
he
reason
might-
he does that is because his true
changes.
form. No, his true form is what drives people insane. That's what the deadlights are. That you can't even look upon him without losing your mind. He's kind of one of those like Lovecraftian beings, where
Right,
just to
right,
witness
right.
him just drives you into madness. So the spider is the closest thing to what we can perceive as a
That
monster
comprehend.
that he's able to embody. Anything other than that, we just
So
we,
be a
we- it's
spider
too
with
crazy.
its face. I mean,
With its face.
yeah, I mean,
But I am interested to see what they plan on doing on the ending of this. You know what I mean?
Well, they can make a way better looking spider. The original,
Well,
the
that's
original,
why-
the
yeah,
original
yeah.
TV series does
'Cause
not
I'm
stand
really
the test
hoping
of
that
time
it's
at
gonna.
all.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that they're gonna.
Except for John Ritter.
John Ritter.
Oh, yeah.
He can do no wrong.
What's his name?
Oh, yeah, who?
Tim Curry.
Yeah,
yeah,
what's
Tim Curry.
Yeah,
was-
Tim Curry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Tim Curry did it from
Now?
a movie?
From
Yeah,
nowadays?
like if he was,
But
younger.
that
If he
actor
was
is
younger.
doing it right now. It's killing it too.
Tim Curry, like he
I like
out.
that cross-eyed thing that he does. It
He has
really
that-
makes it hard to
He has that lip that he does, and that's
for how he drools and
Yeah.
everything. It gives him a super.
Which one? This one or the new
The
one?
new
or the-
one, the new
yeah.
one.
I actually liked them in Rocky Horror Picture Show. He was good.
you
Eh,
would-
well, I didn't even know he was from Legend. He was the devil too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
that's the
Crazy.
one that really blew me away when I
Yeah.
found out that he was the demon.
Some people just are really good,
Beelzebub.
really good at
Yeah.
embodying their character.
I really found this
He's one of
out,
those
and
people that can take him on.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Rest in peace.
Oh, speaking of R.I.P. Tim Conway,
Oh
Yeah.
no.
For those of you who don't know who Tim Conway is,
he was my favorite man.
Tim Conway was, if you've ever heard of,
The Carol Burnett Show.
Yeah.
Carol Burnett show, he was probably the best comedic actor on that show.
He was
in
the
my
best
opinion.
improvisation actor.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Because that show was so funny because of the fact that everybody on that show tried to make everybody else laugh.
Yeah.
They wanted to. It was like their thing. They tried to bust everybody else up.
And even
And
Harvey.
Tim Conway did it every single time,
Harvey.
and would not break character.
His partner, Harvey. I don't forget his last name. But
Harvey Dent.
he actually made him piss his pants once on TV.
Did
No
he
way.
really?
Yeah, it was an episode where he's playing a dentist
Oh yeah.
and he
Yeah,
stabs his
I
leg.
remember that one. Yeah.
Well, part of the scene you'll see him cross his leg because his lad was laughing so hard he peed,
Oh wow.
and he's admitted like, yeah, he made me pee my pants when we were doing this scene.
Just from laughing. Wow.
Yeah, that's the best
Funny
stuff.
guy.
I mean, that was I think that's what made Carol Burnett show so good.
Yeah.
Well, the whole entire cast was amazing.
And then
If you guys
heard
get the
it-
chance, definitely YouTube Tim Conway on the Carol Burnett Show.
Oh my god, when he plays that guy in the office, and
Yeah.
Carol Burnett's the secretary.
Yeah.
So good. I even liked him. There was a movie that he did with that Harvey guy, where they were supposed to be like ghost detectives.
Oh no! You know what? I
Do you
remember
heard about that
him.
movie?
I remember him and Don Knotts in the Apple Dumpling Gang.
Oh yeah, that too.
Oh, wow.
That too.
Wow.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, we're old.
Yeah.
Yeah, look it up.
But
Good stuff.
let's move on.
So,
What other trailers
do
are
you
out
guys
there?
want to talk about Swamp Thing a little bit? What are you guys' thoughts
I don't
on
know
Swamp
much
Thing?
about
What,
it.
have you seen? Have you
It
seen the
looks-
pictures? The
I've seen some of it. It looks
Yeah.
it looks pretty interesting.
Because-
It's really not. It's hard to go
they've
wrong.
done
You
a
know
couple
what?
of short little,
Vignettes.
yeah, and they don't show a whole lot, but they're showing what Swamp Thing looks like, and
Yeah.
it looks pretty
And
good
it's
with
gonna
his
be
red
their
eyes.
Yes.
Horror. I think DC says it's going to be their horror.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be
thing.
really.
I mean,
dark.
to me, it's just like in my mind, it's the old Swamp Thing,
Yeah.
and this one looks like more crazier or more evil looking.
Well, that's what they're saying. Is
Yeah.
if it's gonna be horror, then it's gonna be pretty simple to follow. Because if you know,
Because his
the
eyes
Swamp
are
Thing's
red,
villains
right?
are
And
what-
this one, his
Yeah,
eyes
his
are
eyes
red.
are red.
Isn't Swamp Thing's villain something along the lines of the Rot, which is basically rotting bodies,
Well,
flesh,
he's
stuff like
got
that?
like
That's a-
several different kinds.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm
'Cause he's
wondering the gray.
Yeah,
Right.
There's the gray. There's the green, the red. There's different
Yeah.
elements, different colors and stuff.
But
like
I'm
that.
wondering. I wonder if that means that Solomon Grundy could make an appearance.
He could.
Well,
yeah.
I'm
It's
thinking
possible,
they might start talking about the DC Dark and use other characters.
Yeah, I mean,
That would
yeah,
be a
if
cool way to bring
there's,
tradition,
there's
too.
all those characters there that they could bring
Because
in.
that he's
Constantine could
Constantine.
come in.
And if you watch a lot of I don't know if you guys have seen on Netflix, but that obviously Lucifer's on there.
Mhm.
But I don't know if you guys have seen that Sabrina. The
Yeah, I
Teenage
seen
Witch.
that.
Yes, that show is
It's wicked, it's
The
good.
first episode, they hand a baby over to Satan, so it's
Yeah.
pretty
I missed
intense.
the second
But I
season.
think that opens up a lot of doors. So for something like DC, as far as like Swamp Thing goes, and like you
Yeah.
said, the dark
DC
heroes,
Dark, yeah.
that would be really cool to see. Some Constantine, some hell
Yeah,
fighting, some
somebody
Well,
demons.
I'm sure.
Well, I want to see
this
Intrican for sure.
I'm
Yes.
sure the first episode. I mean, the first series is basically going to be building up him.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
I don't know what
Probably.
kind of
The
you know,
thing is that
villain or whatever
DC
they're
pulled
going to
it
do.
back because it's going for 10 episodes now when it was originally 13.
You think
That
So-
kind of made me upset though when
you
everybody
think-
started throwing up about that.
do you think they're connected to the Doom Patrol or the Titans?
Like
I don't
make it
know.
a shared
I don't
universe.
know.
Because
I don't know.
Are the Titans and
and-
Doom Patrol in a shared universe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
They're
okay.
connected. Yeah.
because
they
Beast
showed
Boy
they're
and
Yeah, there was one episode where they meet the Doom
They
Patrol.
tried-
in Titans on the first season. There was one episode when they connected.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
The-
awesome.
The thing is that I'd rather have them build a universe for him first
Yeah.
before they introduce other people.
Yeah, and I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Like in a second season, or
Mhm.
maybe even a third season if they start connecting and stuff
Like
like,
how they
that.
do the crossovers with the Flash and the Arrow. And
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah.
they're standalone, but they have one episode
But-
where they all.
But
Yeah.
yeah, the first season, I mean,
Just
if you
talk about
really
Swamp
get
Thing.
the basics down and all that kind of stuff.
like I hope they get the origin. Like wasn't it Alec?
Alec,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Did they show how he becomes the Swamp Thing?
That would be really. I
Yeah.
would love to see that. Yeah.
Now, I know we haven't done, and we're in the middle of trailers, but who would win in a fight, Groot or Swamp Thing?
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
Why?
Because Swamp
Because
Thing's
he's
the green.
cooler.
Because
He could use-
No, but
He could
yeah,
use
but
anything. Like
Okay, Groot.
powers-
If one piece of Groot comes back, he
Right.
can come back, right? But Swamp Thing can come back if any plant on Earth.
even you
right?
cut him
see,
or
that's the thing.
he
Because I think
grows.
Swamp Thing has more power.
I'm not saying
over
who would
plants.
win, but I mean, I'm not gonna pick a side because they're both great characters.
Yeah.
But you can't just be like, oh, okay, Swamp Thing will win because he has plants.
No, Swamp Thing could generate if you cut his hand or
Same
something.
thing with Groot could do the same thing.
Yeah, but
Groot takes a little while.
But with Groot, though, I think he can only, it's just him, so he can just extend himself. With Swamp Thing, I think Swamp Thing can actually.
All right, who will win in a fight,
Control
Poison
over-
Ivy or
Swamp,
Swamp Thing?
Thing?
Swamp Thing.
Well, it'd have to be Swamp Thing because he's a hero.
yeah.
Yeah, she's a meta, so she can
Yeah.
control it because of powers. But he is the embodiment
Yeah.
of the green.
I mean,
But
it's
she
even,
can
it's
control
even been
plants because
said.
she controls Swamp Thing.
No, he's the embodiment of the green.
But she's also a defender of the green.
No, she's only was.
Yes, she is.
eventually she becomes.
She
it,
is.
but I don't
But
think
she's not-
originally.
But she's not part of it.
It's just as far as a metahuman goes.
I mean,
that's
Swamp Thing's
not-
almost been said that he's almost like the male version of Mother Nature.
Yeah, what did you see the movie, the DC Dark, and they showed him
Yeah,
how he in the end how strong he was.
yeah.
And in the comics
Didn't
too.
he die?
No,
They took his body out. They took Alec out of the Swamp Thing. But
In the comics,
There's
though,
always
that they,
another part.
or at least in the later comics, they really talk about how he is the defender of nature.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
And
he
doesn't
is
he
extremely
has-
connected to nature now.
he has power to heal people too.
yeah, he can basically do basically anything.
And he can like
anything a
I
planet.
don't know.
He can, like,
I
appear-
gotta check because I think that could have been just for the movie.
he can like appear out of your toilet.
Yeah,
That's
He's the
power.
green. He's the green.
he could hide.
Oh, he's gonna be awesome. I think Marvel's answer to Swamp Thing was
Man
Thing.
Thing.
And
You know that they made a movie about that? Man
Yeah,
Thing?
I had heard about that.
Yeah, I have it. It's,
Yeah, I ain't watching
It's
it.
bootleg.
no, it's regular. I bought it at Walmart.
Oh,
I
let me
mean,
borrow it.
okay.
No, I said the movie was bootleg.
The story is
No, he said he bought it at Walmart. He didn't-
Walmart.
he- he
Walmart
didn't-
is
he
bootleg.
didn't- He didn't.
Walmart and TJ.
He didn't say he bought it inside the Walmart. He bought it at the Walmart parking
Yeah.
lot.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. Outside.
At Walmart.
The guy was selling the
From
selling
Jose.
bootleg DVDs and
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that combination. Okay, let me ask you this really quick. This might be a little off topic, but Swamp Thing, original movie. What are your thoughts? Drewski, you go first.
Honestly,
He's never seen it.
well, I have, but I was so small I don't remember it. My first recollection of Swamp Thing was a cartoon VHS that I had, and it was about two kids running through the swamp, and then they accidentally stumble upon Swamp Thing
Really?
and an evil doctor, and it was like one episode. It was like maybe an hour and a half long, but I watched it repeatedly.
I think
I absolutely
and that,
loved
that
it.
cartoon was
Wow.
made after Swamp Thing too,
I loved
because
it.
they incorporated
I
those two
loved it.
kids that he meets in the
I
swamp.
had all the
yeah.
action figures where he gets all spiny and
Yeah.
glows in the dark.
Oh,
I love those
yeah.
toys. So those
They had
toys
the-
were hard.
not
The
the
slime.
not the moss one, but like he had like that.
Yeah, he was
I
like,
still
oh.
I have the DC one, the new one that came out a few years ago for Comic Con.
Uh-huh.
That thing's a beast too.
Yeah?
So great.
That looks cool. You should
They're
bring
so
it to
great.
share.
Yeah.
Something's just always had a really cool look and a really cool appeal to
The
me.
thing is
He
that
doesn't really, he didn't choose to be who he is, the
Yeah.
Guardian, like, which
Right.
is tragic. Most,
Right.
tragic superhero story.
It's a
obviously.
tragedy story.
But it's really cool to see how he ends up using his power. He's
Yeah.
really a passive character. He doesn't
Because
really
he was a
engage.
scientist.
Exactly.
Unless
He
he
was,
has
yeah.
to.
He was a scientist, so he wanted to do something good. And now, because of his hands, he can't do what he wants, and he can't cure himself
Yeah.
because of his hands. That Cause you know what? When I seen the trailer for the DC show, I went to see the movie, the original movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, this movie's still good.
Is it still really good?
No,
Dynamite. Go ahead, Dynamite. I want to hear your point.
I love the movie. I love the original one.
Okay.
Swamp Thing.
Well,
and Swamp Thing in Part 2 looked a lot better than the original one.
Remember
But it did not age well.
the first one was supposed to be scary because Wes Craven directed
it was supposed to be more like a
so
horror
yeah,
movie.
it was more like a horror movie. And
But it was still a B movie, so they didn't have a lot of budget.
and I'm good with B movies. Like Halloween was a B movie.
Yeah.
and you know that the music that they play there is the music from Jason.
Is it really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is Jason's.
That's
you know,
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very dated.
Well,
Didn't have that part.
yeah, not that part.
Like if Jason was in the same swamp.
he'd
be the
Jason
Gray.
Hey, Jason.
No, because
Jason
he's
Swamp
in a lake.
He'd be the Gray.
Swamp Thing can't
He's in
keep
the forest.
looking over his shoulder. The hell's that noise?
No, but it's really dated. I don't get me wrong. I like it. Like as much as
Is
much
it on the DC app?
Do you remember?
Not yet. I'm pretty sure it will be.
Do you remember
I wish
that?
it was.
It will be. Watch. It will
Remember
be.
that they even had a series about Swamp Thing? That thing was good on
No, it
USA.
wasn't.
I liked it.
Oh yeah, you're right. I never saw
And
it.
it was
I
the
saw
same.
it. It wasn't. It wasn't.
I mean, I guess I just like
Because
Swamp
now,
Thing, so.
no, I like something too. But the thing is that now you went from movie makeup to TV show makeup.
But it looks cool how
So it's
he
kind of
was
like one
hiding
of
in
the,
the-
it was one of those things where you could kind of see the zipper of the suit,
Jesus.
and when he moved, it's kind of like it looked.
Oh,
like,
that's the same thing with the first one. You could tell.
that's
like,
what I'm saying. It's dated. What they did with the first one, it looks like they got a wetsuit
and they put it
and
on
they,
him.
and they sprayed it green and they
Yeah.
put grass and leaves on it.
Like a ghillie suit?
Yeah, and no, not even that good. It looks like a wetsuit. Like
you
if you're a
could
diver,
Okay, well let me ask you
and they
this:
spray paint it.
when was the last time you saw the original movie?
Probably about 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
You gotta
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, and I want to say
See
maybe
the-
15 years.
Well,
So, and I still
Don't
remember
get-
it
here's
from
the
back
thing.
when I was a
As
kid
much-
watching it for the
as
first
much
time.
as I love the original Godzilla movies,
Right.
I watched it maybe 3 years ago. Also, I think they were doing a movie marathon on the USA.
Okay.
No, not USA. Sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
Oh.
That's what I was gonna say.
And I was like, I have to watch it. And people had plans. They invited me, like, no, I'm gonna
Well,
watch.
you talked about this before, yeah.
And I'm gonna go watch this Godzilla marathon.
Right.
And I watched it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it wasn't the same as I watched it when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I loved it. Stories were great. It's kind of like now it looks really, really bad.
Talked? Didn't they talk?
Yeah. They were in Monster Island.
It was so
They
bad.
were in Monster Island.
having full on
But
conversations.
only in Monster Island they could talk.
Yeah.
As soon as they left,
I remember that one.
Yeah. So
That's so. What about the son of Godzilla? The little,
The little funny looking guy.
and they also had when they had
bad.
the little rings that go over, and then they would strangle.
He makes some weird-
And then, but then there were also a lot of the movies that had Godzilla in the name and didn't even have Godzilla in
Like
it.
the last one in the 90s where they did with Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
the '99 movie. Oh, it was
Oh, my
so bad.
God.
It was just him walking by things. Oh,
It wasn't even Godzilla.
it's
It was
Godzilla again.
Okay.
Huh? And people just barely missing it. Anyways,
All right.
So, Swamp Thing, are you guys
I have the app, so I'm
looking
waiting
forward?
for it.
Yeah,
I like
looking
the
forward
DC.
to it?
When's it coming out? When's the release?
The end
I
of this
believe
month.
it's like 2 weeks. Yeah, end of May.
After the last episode
Yeah.
of Doom Patrol.
Once the last episode of Doom Patrol airs,
Yeah,
which
they're
will
really
come out
rolling
on
these out
Friday,
pretty-
the following Friday, that will
Yeah, they're going
Dude,
back to back.
honestly, the app for me it's worth it. And the only thing is that like it's not like Netflix where they drop everything at one time. It's like every week. You have to watch every week.
But the
D-
episode like
DC
they're an hour.
Universe $7.99 a month. We are not affiliated.
Is it 7?
It's not bad. And you get I think you get a month for free or 2 weeks for free.
Yeah, something like
So you
that.
can
get
binge
a couple
watch.
weeks for
You
free.
can binge watch Titans. You can
Dude,
binge
you
watch
have to at least watch Titans.
Yeah,
Titans
Titans
is
is
good.
Dude.
even when
awesome.
Grayson
All
said
three
like
of
F
Oh,
Batman,
yeah,
I was fine.
He
with
even
it.
played him good.
Respect.
I was
I'm
like,
gonna mute it real
It was
quick.
good. No, I'm like,
I
I'm not
think
joking.
everybody was
You gotta
good.
I'm
watch
gonna
it.
censor it
Oh,
mentally.
and for like the ending when Batman shows up.
Oh, it was. Remember?
Watch it.
Yeah.
You have to watch it just
Oh,
for
yeah.
Batman.
No,
just
yeah.
because of that.
Just for-
it's
all
worth.
And
$7.99.
Batman is crazy.
And not to mention, they also have all the comic books you could download.
Yeah.
Yeah, a whole bunch of comic books you
Yeah,
could
like,
download.
they're starting to add more stuff to it. I mean, older TV shows. I'm watching Lois and Clark right now.
Actually, I
Yeah.
couldn't stand Shazam.
I haven't watched it.
Oh my god,
That's dated. So
And
that's
yeah.
dated.
Yeah, that's like 70s or 60s.
it was in the 70s, but it is bad.
Yeah, I think that was
When I was a
worse
kid, it
than-
was amazing.
It was a van
Worse
or
than
what is
Superman.
It was a
Adventures of
Winnebago.
Superman.
But yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing looks pretty good.
See.
All right, so let's get into I guess
Spider-Man.
the last trailer, Spider-Man,
Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Let me just say, I think Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be awesome. I like Jake Gyllenhaal's performances in most of the movies that he does.
I do too.
I'm kind of.
And
I think it's gonna be better than Spider-Man.
I like Jake Gyllenhaal, not in a Brokeback Mountain kind of way.
He was good.
But
He was good in Brokeback Mountain.
I like him. He's hot.
He's awesome.
Was he Donnie Darko?
Right?
Yeah, he was
right?
Donnie Darko.
Classic,
Jisky, right?
He was Donnie Darko. He was in that one. Where was it? What was he like?
The
Oh,
reporter.
The
Bubble
news
Boy.
reporter.
The
Bubble
reporter,
Boy.
right?
Don't talk about Bubble Boy.
Uh,
We don't talk about
Nightcrawler?
Bubble Boy. I hated that
Nightcrawler,
movie
right?
So bad.
Nightcrawler
Yes,
was
Nightcrawler. That was a good
good.
one.
Yeah.
I really liked that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
That one was
Yeah,
really good. He was in Jarhead, which was kind of garbo.
He did another
But-
one too, wasn't it? Where you play a cop?
That
Oh,
one
yeah,
was good.
yeah,
Was it
yeah.
Blue?
I forgot what the name of it.
It was him and Michael Pena though.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
and I like
yeah.
Michael.
That was
Pena.
that was a pretty
Pena
pretty
He
good.
was
Good
They
cop.
got-
It was a good cop movie. If you like
Yeah.
cop movies, that
It was
a
really
good.
good.
I don't think I
can't
saw
remember
that
what it's
one.
called.
That one's good.
Men
And
in
he
Blue.
was in,
dudes being cops. I think it was.
Because they go to
What's
the
the
neighborhood and they get stuck.
Is that the one where they have that gold AK?
I don't know. It was like one of those cameras shot from the camera point of view.
Yeah. What was the name of that other movie? The Sands of Time.
Oh, Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia.
Prince of
I didn't
Persia.
see that one.
No, that's his flop.
Okay.
Yeah, but he looked good in it.
Yeah.
No, that was his flop, bro.
I mean,
He
if
looked-
you.
I didn't say the movie was great. I just said he
He
looked
looked
good.
good. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, dude.
You gotta go. You gotta get a little bit good.
Bro, yeah, no, I ain't got no problem with Jake Gyllenhaal. I would take a Jake Gyllenhaal over a Jason Statham any day.
I think so. Well,
Ooh.
Jason Statham's.
Wow, I don't know about that. That's pretty hard too.
I would take Jake Gyllenhaal over Statham, but
But not over The Rock.
But not over Gosling. So what we see is Mysterio. Mysterio comes from another universe.
What do you guys
Apparently,
think
Look.
They're
Just so
introducing
y'all
the multiverse.
know, we're good with who we are and we don't care. Gyllenhaal looks
Check
good.
it all.
Are you guys concerned that they might not make him a villain and keep him as a hero?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of confused on that.
You know, I'm okay
He
with
could turn
it.
out a villain.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, 'cause I mean,
they're
that's
talking
what he
about,
was.
but they're talking about the whole multiverse now too.
Yeah, that's the thing that.
So if they bring it in where it makes sense and it's not from our Earth, then I'll be all right with it.
I think that's how they're going to introduce the other villains. Because I
If-
heard that
Sinister
Chameleon,
Six.
he's coming in the movie.
He
Well, one
could be
thing-
Chameleon
one
right then and there.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I like to think is some of the best villains start out as allies. So it'd be really cool to see him build this rapport and this relationship with Mysterio, just to see him turn
you know what
and
it is?
become evil.
That he's looking for
Infinity Stone?
No, he's looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be. I don't know.
How do you say? Like Tony, you know how Tony died?
Yeah.
So he's looking up to him now.
Spoilers.
That's what it seems in the trailer.
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah,
at
you're
all.
talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're talking about.
We're talking about Mysterio. Like,
Mysterio.
Oh,
who's
well,
good or
that's
bad.
what I'm saying. Mysterio.
Oh, so
Well,
you're thinking that like
Peter
Peter
Par-
Parker's
yes,
looking for
looking-
somebody else to look
Yeah.
up to?
So
And
it's,
I don't
Maybe
think that's going to be the
Mysterio
case.
looks a little bit older.
Well, okay,
It's kind of like, well, this one's dead. New mentor.
right.
yeah.
And I did hear somewhere that they're looking at having Mysterio being in multiple movies.
That would be cool.
I don't know. I don't
One
know.
thing
how
I like.
this is
One
being
thing I like
done.
about the MCU is you can watch. Like now, I mean, obviously in the beginning it was a lot of origin stories. It was a lot of learning this character. I think one of my favorite things about the early movies was how Hawkeye was in Thor, and they didn't really say anything. They
Right,
didn't really
yeah.
focus on it. He was just kind of there, and if you didn't know who he was, you didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Nowadays with the MCU, one thing I really like is that they bring in a lot of these characters. There's a ton of cameos, ton of people who could be from other movies that are in this movie, and you won't even know from watching the trailers. You won't know
unless you're a true comic
Yeah.
fan.
yeah. Which is that's one thing I love
And
about the MCU.
that's cool because exactly that's the fun thing for us being the real nerds and
Kind of
know about
spotting
these
those
characters.
things.
Yeah, so we're sitting in the theater and we catch these characters and we're like the only ones in the
Like-
theater
like in,
yeah,
I
and
know.
everybody else is quiet because they don't even know who these people are.
Honestly, you have no idea how many people I think I work with 2 or 3 people who watched Infinity War and Endgame,
and they didn't
but
catch
none of the other MCU movies. They know nothing about them. The only
Really?
reason they watched Infinity War and Endgame was because they heard they were such
And
big
you've
movies.
seen that.
We gotta go see these movies.
You
Well,
catch
you don't know anything about them.
You catch a lot of characters Endgame.
Yes, tons in Endgame and Infinity War. If you've never watched any MCU movie, then these movies are gonna floor you with superheroes, with content.
See, that's the kind of thing that kind of irritates me though, is because most of those people that go and see those big movies,
It's just because it's a big movie,
right? And then they come out going like, "Oh, it wasn't that good."
It was alright.
Yeah,
I didn't
because you
get
didn't
it.
know who's going.
I don't understand what was going on.
I didn't get it. You didn't invest 11 years of your life.
I know
into
somebody
these movies
that
like we did.
said that movie sucked.
I heard that too.
Well, you just said that right now.
No, not me.
No, I heard it. No, I heard it too. Someone told me it was. They didn't know what was going on in the first
Was it
half
Gavin?
of it. There wasn't any action in the first half of it. That it was just boring. It was lackluster.
No real name.
But really, I think
real name.
Was it Davin?
no, there was no. It was someone else.
Was
Someone
it
else.
Pedro?
No, but yeah, I work with people who, like I said, they've only seen these two movies, and the reason, and some of them I didn't like Endgame, and the thing is that they just said it was just too boring in the beginning. I'm like, if you had invested the same amount of time with these characters, Tony Stark was huge, monumental to the whole MCU, let alone that movie. That the whole movie was just an epic.
I think we just went into Endgame spoilers now.
Well, I mean, the trailer, Spider-Man trailer, had spoilers in it.
Yeah, I did.
And remember, he even said so at the very beginning of the trailer.
I like that. I like that they gave
That's
that
why
one.
they didn't show the trailer. They stopped from showing it a certain day because of Endgame.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's because, like I said, the Russo brothers put out that, like, please don't spoil it. And they're like, all right,
Yeah.
ban lifted.
2 weeks later. Yeah. I mean, to me, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's cool, which was cool.
Yeah. I mean, I was out there going like, okay, ban's lifted. Let's talk about this.
What do you think about the multi-universe?
The what?
I like the way they
multiverse.
introduced it. I like the way they introduced it.
I'm excited for that.
You think
I'm like,
that's
let's
how maybe
go.
Spider-Man and Venom are gonna meet?
No.
No.
He's so
Come
hopeful.
on, I want to see that. So
I knew
bad.
that's where that was going to.
No.
I'm like, is he gonna go for Fantastic Venom? It immediately
No.
went to Venom.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna
No,
happen.
no.
What's up,
no,
kid?
No.
Yeah,
Stop
it's
me.
gonna
We should be a team. Just in NEEHIGH's memory, it's just the most.
Come on, Marvel, do that.
1996 thing. You
Just so
can
you
imagine.
know, they did not buy Sony.
It's
They
gonna
got
be this-
Fox. So they have
Oh,
the Fantastic.
Sony, that's right. Huh? He's from
They have the Fantastic Four. They have the
But
X-Men.
they're gonna have to work with each other.
No,
So
no.
we might get Venom
Stop. Did you see the movie? It was horrible.
They might be friends.
Stop.
Oh, but they are getting a sequel.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah.
one day. Carnage.
Well, if Woody Harrelson's in it, I think that could be a
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. I mean,
And you know what? Somebody
Okay,
asked.
but
Somebody
How
told
did we
me.
get to talk about Venom again? I think we talked
'Cause
every
NEEHIGH.
episode.
No, but
Every
seriously,
episode
I mean,
has a Venom
on
segment.
the good side though is that the first movie does well, then hopefully the second movie
Make
have
it
a
more
bigger
budget,
budget.
yeah.
Which will give us a.
Don't get
better
me wrong.
film.
The symbiote looked good.
Mhm.
The story was not great.
Right.
The acting was okay. Somebody hit me up. It's kind of like Woody Harrelson as a villain. I don't think like. Did you guys not see Natural Born Killers?
No, did you? Did it? What is it? The Planet of the Apes?
Yes,
Oh,
that
man.
he was
Yeah.
a great villain in that
So,
one
yeah,
too,
that-
because he had
Woody
purpose.
Yeah.
That's
Woody
what makes a
Harrelson's a
good
good
villain.
actor.
Is
Yeah,
No,
purpose.
yeah, no,
He's
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. So I mean, the
But
possibility
the thing
is
is,
there.
that a lot of people think of Woody Harrelson. They don't think of him as a villain. But he's done a lot of great
Yeah,
villain
he
roles.
has. He has.
Yeah,
he does.
Right after
Right after
Cheers.
Cheers,
That's where he
yeah.
started
Yeah,
doing-
Natural Born Killers was great.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, you're right.
But it is what it is. No Venom in the MCU.
We still don't know
Yeah,
yet.
you
Can
never
we go
know.
back to
We never-
Spider-Man?
Okay.
We went from Spider-Man to Avengers.
Well, I
from
want to know.
Spider-Man to
I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on the multiverse thing for Far From Home. What do you guys think? I mean, are you guys? Do you care about that at all, or what?
One thing I hope is that they didn't try to focus a lot of their plot
On
the multiverse,
Yeah.
and then kind of dumb down the villains, because it looks like the villains are these elementals, which looks cool. It looks
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
But I don't want it just to be some dumb, mindless villains that come from a splitting universe, and then we don't get anything from the multiverse. You know what I mean?
I have a feeling that they're going to talk about it because that's their way of introducing the new acquisitions that they have.
Right.
I have a feeling that in phase
We're in phase 4 now.
we're in phase 4.
Yeah.
The culmination is going to be Battle World.
Could be. Yeah,
That would be
it's
cool.
very possible.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
What do you mean? Eh?
I said, yeah.
He's like, I think that's going to be the culmination. That way they could just bring in all their acquisitions that they have and have them play nice in one universe.
Well, I'm actually just excited to see some new characters. So two
Yeah.
I want to see is I want to see Miles
Morales would be
and I
epic.
want
The
to
Prowler.
see and I no.
No.
Is it
I
gonna,
wanna
it's
see
gonna be
Spider-Gwen.
it's gonna be hard to find. It's gonna be hard
I
to
don't
follow
I
up.
want to see villains.
In all honesty, I'm hoping they don't do a Spider-Verse in live action.
Well, I mean, I don't need the whole Spider-Verse. I just want those two characters.
No, the only one.
You know what I'm saying?
Apart from, I want to see Miles. Spider-Gwen, I could take or leave, but I really want to see
Well, we know
Spider-Man 2099.
Oh yeah.
That would be cool.
Well, we know Miles is in this universe, right? Because
His uncle.
Yeah, his uncle.
But see, the other thing though too is that they open up the whole multiverse. That's kind of another doorway to the Fantastic Four, because the Fantastic Four always dealt with multiple universes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was like Mr. Fantastic's realm. That's
Yeah.
what
what
he
is
dealt with.
wow, what are they called?
Citadel of, the Council of Reeds.
Council of
Yeah.
Reeds. I was trying to think of
Citadel
Rick and
of Reeds.
Morty.
You know what I mean? I mean, that can just open up the door right there for him.
It could.
And then
Okay.
bring
I
in
just
the
wanna
entire
say-
Fantastic Four.
And I know I really wanted to see the Avengers going up against Doom.
Oh, that would be dope.
That would have been dope.
Yeah, but you gotta see Fantastic Four go up against Doom first.
Yeah.
If it's
I
done
don't
right.
think
If
that's
it's
it.
done right. Because the last two were not great.
No.
No.
Doom
But
is
Marvel
dumb.
has their hands on it now, so we'll
Yeah,
see what
so they
happens.
know what they're doing with.
So,
We hope so.
are we excited for Far From Home?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still skeptical.
Okay.
I'm still skeptical because not in a bad way. I'm just curious to see because I know in the
You want
comic
to see
books,
what it's gonna, what the
Jake
story's really gonna
Jake
be?
or Mysterio started off, hey, I'm a hero, and so I'm wondering if the elementals are illusions.
Yeah.
If he's lying to Fury because he
You're curious
in the
to see
comic
what
in the
his...
comic book he could fool Wolverine with his illusions and he has heightened senses.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if he the whole
remember-
multiverse is also a trick.
Because remember in the first, I believe,
could be.
comic, he
I hope
became
not.
Spider-Man just to fool people that Spider-Man was bad.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I like the way it looks like he's using the same kind of magic that Doctor Strange uses.
See, that's part of the illusions. That's what I'm thinking of because he doesn't have any powers at all.
No.
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 He
All
has illusions. So I'm wondering if he's using projectors.
But the only reason why I kind of have high hopes is because, they talked about the multiverse. And considering Marvel's track record, I've got high hopes of some really cool stuff that's going to happen.
I
in that
think
movie.
this movie was a bigger budget than the last one.
Well, I'm sure it is.
Because what do you guys think about all the Spider-Man suits?
Yeah, there's a few revealed. You're
Yeah,
right.
but-
There's a
okay.
Spider-Man Noirs. No, not Noirs.
That's another
Norm.
That's another point.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, okay, since he talks about the multiverse, how do we know that every Spider-Man suit we see is all Peter? It could be different
It
versions.
could be,
from
but I
other
think with the introduction
universes,
of
too.
Nick Fury and Shield, it kind of hints at here's where he's getting his suit
Yeah.
from, right?
Well,
Because he
You
starts
never
out
know.
he
Yeah,
starts
you
out
really
in the
don't
Iron
know.
Spider, right? He
Because
starts out in
did
the
he-
Iron Spider suit.
Well, we know he has that. Yeah. We
Did
know
you
he has
see
that.
when
But
he
like the
was-
Spider Noir,
the original.
what if it is a Spider-Man from an alternate universe?
did you guys notice that he was wearing Tony Stark's glasses?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we saw
And
that.
then when he had the illusion, like something on his arm, like Tony.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows?
But that could be part of his suit though.
It could be.
because he's got a whole bunch of tech that we really don't know.
Did you guys see the screenshots that I sent of his friends from school? And one of them kind of looks like Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they said it was her.
I'm just mostly surprised it's kind of like everyone. Well, we'll get into it with the 5-year thing.
Mhm.
Like half of the universe disappeared, but his whole entire high school
Well, what do you-
disappeared as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, what do you
And
think
they came
about?
back. Yeah.
What do you think about her saying that?
I mean,
you
it's
know,
half of all.
that she knew it was Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Well, the Mary Jane
Yeah,
thing.
I think it's too soon.
No, I don't.
Yeah, but even still, we don't know whether or not he's going to convince her that he's
Oh,
not
is
Spider-Man.
she Mary Jane from the comics?
Now
I don't know.
that goes into the multiverse. If your theory is correct, and there's different Spider-Men, then one of them could just appear as Spider-Man next to Peter Parker and be like, "Oh,
Sure.
you're not."
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing that I think I'm really excited for because there's so many possibilities now since they mentioned the multiverse. This movie could go all
What if
kinds
they?
of ways.
What if they bring Andrew Garfield?
Oh, did you see
Or-
that? Have you seen the pictures for
Yeah,
that?
all three.
Not Andrew Garfield, but Tobey
Tony
Maguire.
Well, they were talking about.
As an alternate universe.
No,
Spider-Man.
and that's fine.
That would be so
But
cool.
it could also be like
I'll watch it.
it could
Yeah.
also be the black costume Spider-Man. Could actually be Mysterio's Spider-Man.
It could be, yeah.
You never know.
So
We don't know.
it's
Yeah.
we'll just wait and see. It's only one trailer in,
Yeah,
so
we're going like way into
Yeah.
Theories. And
especially
They talked-
knee-high.
Yep. Venom.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, so now
Yeah,
we're
new
gonna
phone,
get
though.
into
Endgame.
Endgame. Thoughts? Who didn't like the movie? Yep. Okay, that's what I thought.
Crickets.
So, did you guys all see it once, or anybody see it more than once?
I only saw it one time and just don't have time. It's too long.
I know. I want to go see it again so
You
bad.
You know what? I want to go see it in 3D. I heard that 3D.
I saw it in 3D. I
Yeah.
saw it in IMAX 3D.
Oh,
Did
man.
you really?
Yeah,
Wow.
dude, at 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, that's right. You went
Oh.
early. You went real early.
2:30 in the morning on Thursday going into Friday.
Do you remember all of it?
Yeah, no, I took a nap. Like, I got off of work and I went and
okay.
took a nap.
Okay, so who didn't cry during the movie?
Oh.
I didn't cry.
Man, there was so many
You didn't
tears.
cry?
No, I was
Yeah.
too much shock.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
Dude, that,
Yeah.
considering because I watch so many of the videos and all that kind of stuff, and everybody's talking about like, oh, I cried during this scene, I cried during that scene, and so I'm over here thinking to myself, come on, I already know some of the stuff's gonna happen. I'm a nerd guy. I'm a comic book guy. I'm not gonna cry.
You
I
cried.
bawled.
The
dude.
way it happened.
Oh my
yeah,
god!
it's just
And multiple scenes, I'm getting teary eyed.
yeah, just
Right? And
thinking
I'm
about it. Yeah, thinking
and I'm
about
sitting
what.
there going like, I can't believe this movie is making me feel this.
Yeah,
Am I the only one that wanted
This-
to cry when Rocket sat down next to
Yeah.
Nebula? I was like, oh, me too. I want to hold your hand.
oh yeah, dude, that was. I mean, this movie was. It gave you a different feeling than Infinity War.
It really
Because
was.
remember,
yeah.
Infinity War just felt like somebody hit us in the stomach.
Yes.
This one was like, oh man.
Well, because like, okay, well, Infinity War, I knew it was coming. I knew some stuff like that was going to happen. So for me, it didn't hit me as hard as it did most people. Because I was like, well, dude, I already knew there was another movie coming. I already know they're going to fix it. I already know that we're going to win. So it wasn't like I was like, oh my God, really? No, I knew we were going to win.
Mm-hmm.
But the way this movie played out, the
Yeah.
way they directed it, there's so many
It was
different
really-
scenes where I'm just like,
I was thinking even
you know,
even in the first 15 minutes when they fought Thanos,
What's his name?
Thanos.
Thanos,
Who?
and they
What's his name?
killed him. I was like, the movie's over.
I know. So I was like, what? What do you mean 3 hours?
Yeah,
He's dead. It's
I was
over.
like, oh
there-
man.
roll credits.
I know.
Hey,
Cut the check.
and Thor was violent, dude.
He was. He went right for the
Right.
one fell
You
swoop.
didn't let him talk. All right.
Well, even okay, like even
Well,
at
there
the
was no
beginning.
point. It's kind of like I destroyed all Infinity Stones. I don't need you.
No. He did not destroy them. He shrank them to a subatomic level. He did not destroy them.
Yeah, I don't think you could. Yeah.
He did not destroy them.
Oh, you said
They've
they-
been there since the dawn of time. You
They
can't destroy them.
evaporated or
He
whatever it was
shrank
you said.
them to a subatomic level. So there's.
Well,
still
technically
Infinity
speaking,
Stones.
Ant-Man could have found them.
He could have.
So how did you guys feel about like when at the very beginning when Hawkeye loses his family?
Wow, that
It's-
was.
That was the
He
hardest.
turned around like
Right?
hot dogs, everyone, and they're all gone.
I
What?
mean, as soon as
My
I saw
whole
him playing with
family?
these kids,
Okay.
I'm like, oh, this is how we're gonna play it, huh?
And that's good. They show what happened. What happened to him because we didn't get.
Yeah, we didn't see.
We
What
didn't get
happened.
it.
No, you want to know what was a tearjerker? When Scott Lang went home and his daughter was 5 years
Oh,
older.
yeah.
Holy crap! How do you lose 5 years of your?
Well, he doesn't know what's going on.
No, he has no idea. He's
Yeah.
like, "You're
He's
so
like, "What's
big,"
going
and
on?"
she was like, "Oh, she thought he was dead." It was so.
Which
crazy.
you know what that means? That
Yes.
means that the mother and the father,
They're
father
gone.
and
Yeah,
mother,
they
they're
got
gone.
snapped.
Because it seemed like she was growing up on her own.
Yeah.
Now, how do you guys feel about Professor Hulk?
I didn't really like it.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of like
There was no explanation to him. He
Well,
kind of just, "Hey,
that's weird.
What's up,
I
guys?"
actually
I'm the
liked
Hulk.
it.
I didn't. The
I was
thing
okay
I
with
was
it.
down with it. I
He
was
looks
like,
smaller.
this is cool.
He looks
I mean, he was
I
cool.
like it.
Don't get me wrong. He was
He-
funny.
yeah,
He added
but
a humor factor to
he
it.
was smaller than
Yeah.
what we've seen.
No.
That's how how the way he.
Well, no,
I think because he
I
wasn't.
didn't
I think
see
because
that.
he wasn't up and about throwing crap around.
I think the reason he looked smaller because he was wearing shirts.
or something.
They
Yeah.
were restricted.
I did like the part when they
Well,
went.
if he's not angry,
when
because
they
he
went-
gets bigger when he's angry.
I like the part when he went back.
And he was
And he
embarrassed.
was there like, oh.
Oh, I'm angry.
I'm
Oh,
angry,
I
yeah.
smashed.
That was
Uh,
fun.
That's why I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was
And
like
you know
really
what?
good.
It was America's ass.
It
Right?
Was.
Oh.
It was.
That was those were
That
some
was
good
hilarious.
scenes.
Like,
Yeah.
That was an epic scene.
Cap-
Captain America
Cap
versus
versus Cap.
himself.
Yeah.
What I can do
Oh,
this all day. He's like,
what
yeah,
about-
I know.
what
Like,
about
fed
that-
up with it.
hey.
I know. Shut up.
What about the elevator scene?
Oh
Yes.
Yeah, that right there.
Hail
when I-
Hydra. 2 words.
Yeah.
I was the only
That was
one.
fine. That was right there. I mean, the ending scene when he says "I am Iron Man," which is great, but I still think that Hail Hydra
Was
was
the best.
epic. That
Yeah.
was good.
no, they something it was to Iron Man.
He got
That was
out of the
good. Oh,
elevator
yeah. He got-
unscathed. He
yeah.
could have, he could have handled all those
Oh,
dudes
yeah.
to get that thing,
And
but he
drop
had
that
them
Hail
hand
Hydra?
it over. Hail Hydra. Oh, here you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here you go, buddy. Like, oh, so good. It was so
Yeah, it
good.
has some good scenes that like wow. Like, yeah, it was epic to me. Like wow.
It
you
was.
know?
What was okay? Let's go one by one. What was like your most epic scene?
To me was the battle
Which one? The
You gotta be
very-
more specific.
Well, the last
They're
battle
like
when,
the
when they
climax,
brought,
that was great.
Yeah.
Oh, one best scene is when Captain America saved Thor with his own hammer. Oh
Yeah.
man!
Okay, so when I'm watching the movie and everything, and Thor's getting his butt kicked, the moment I saw the hammer start to lift up, that's when I was like, "Oh, please let it be Cap." I was like, "Please let it be Captain America."
Yes.
I already kind of figured it out that it was going to be him, and and again, because you're a comic book reader,
Right.
So
That's why I said like as soon as I saw that hammer lifting,
if we're talking about the battle, the battle. I mean, if we're just the battle alone,
There's so much.
there's so much.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I thought was pretty
so
legit,
huge.
and people are hinting like, well, maybe it's going to lead to this movie, is when Captain Marvel had the gauntlet, and she got it from Spider-Man,
right?
and Spider-Man's like, "You're gonna run through all that shit like alone," and they're like,
A-Force?
she is not alone. And you're like,
A-Force,
Yeah.
A-Force. For
It was a
days.
little. It was a little pandering.
Yeah.
But it
like
worked. It
they're,
worked.
they're like,
No.
Even when Black Panther
The only thing,
was
my
fake.
only issue with that was when the Wasp, you saw how she expanded, was kind of ready to go. She had never helmet on. So,
true.
based on the laws of the Ant-Man
Yeah.
physics, she kind of needed to have the helmet on.
well, that one is a little bit different because her costume, her suit is
She
different
always puts the
than.
helmet
Yeah.
on before
than
shrinking or
Scott's.
That's
expanding.
true.
Hers
Because
is
she does.
No, but she
like,
has to have. They have to have the
helmet.
helmet on when they shrink.
Yeah.
Therefore, when they get back, the helmet's already on and it comes back. If you watch all the Ant-Mans,
Well, you
true.
only saw the movie once, so you gotta go back and see it again
I
to
seen
see
that.
whether or
I
not
did.
it actually happened.
That's exactly.
But the
what-
scene was epic.
It was.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm
I-
saying.
in my opinion, I mean that scene
All the
was
chicks.
needed.
That shows you how many ass-kicking chicks there really
Yeah.
are. in the
Yeah,
city.
and that was what was so
From
good about
start
it because
to
like
finish.
all
Even
the girls,
Pepper Potts. Oh,
Oh my god, that was
Oh my god.
that
And just the
chick-
fact that
was
it's kind of
good.
like she is not alone, and they all just.
Yes.
The only thing is kind of like
One by one,
and
all
when they're
Black
fighting,
Widow.
when they're fighting
I-
together, Iron Man and her,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah,
man, that was
separate.
Epic.
It was really good. That scene was really, really good.
When I saw the teams split up and saw who had to go to Vormir for the Soul Stone, they were kind of skipping. We'll be back right now with the Soul Stone. I was like, no.
oh man,
No, you won't.
Because the whole time I'm thinking too, I'm like, okay, so how are they gonna do the soul
Who's
Yeah,
gonna go
that
get the
was-
Soul Stone?
Yeah.
that was
No matter who
Yeah.
wins, you knew someone wasn't coming
Somebody's
back.
coming like, yeah.
Oh,
That
it
was-
had to be them.
Yeah.
So how'd you guys
That
feel
was
about
so
the
heart-wrenching.
about
That
the
was
Black Widow?
teardrop.
You kind of knew it had to be her. She wasn't gonna let him do it because
of her
of his
family.
family.
So
she couldn't let him. She knew
Drewski,
she
you-
didn't have anything to lose.
Drewski, you felt that she was the one that was gonna go.
Yeah,
She had to.
from the get-go.
Yeah.
She had
You
to.
felt the same way about
Logically,
Dynamite?
she would not have let him. She
Well,
would
not only
have.
would she
And
not
she
have let
didn't.
him, but it winds up being one of those things where her arc is over as well.
Yeah.
And as much as a great character she is, granted she's got a solo movie coming out, but obviously
That's
it's
a
going to be a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, her arc was also done, and I knew that it was over when they go 5 years had elapsed, from the snapping
Yeah.
to now, where it's kind of like she
She
talked to
couldn't do
Captain America.
anything
She's
else.
all like, "This is all I have.
Yeah,
This
Yeah.
is what I could. This
Right.
is all I could do." And it's kind of like
So
at
she's
that,
already planting the seeds.
She doesn't
so at that,
Yeah.
at,
And then
at
we
that
see-
moment, it's kind of like you're dead.
She doesn't know anything but to be an Avenger. She doesn't know
Yeah.
anything but that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Be a spy
Yeah, and then
or-
and then we see what happens with Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And it makes sense too because if they do get the gauntlet back,
They won't have a family.
Hawkeye can get his family back,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and she doesn't get anything back.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, so it made sense for her to be the one.
That's how they
As
did with
heartbreaking as it was.
But it was a
Some-
good scene though because it just went back
Oh,
and forth.
yeah.
It was.
It went
no,
back and
because
forth and
it-
back and forth and
in,
back and
com-
forth.
in
when they
comparison, in
when
com-
he fell, like, oh, he's gone.
I know.
No.
she got no in not I wouldn't say in comparison, but in contrast to the way Thanos and Gamora did it, he willingly grabbed her,
Yeah, he just
threw
threw-
her. There was really no fight. There was nothing much she could do.
Mhm.
But these two really battled each other to not be the one to watch the other die. They
Yeah.
really did it for each other,
Yeah.
and it was amazing because you knew Hawkeye. As much as he wanted to do it for her, he didn't want to because he had his family to
Yeah.
live for.
Yeah.
But at the same
She
time,
knew-
he could not live in a world without his best friend in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
She
So-
had to. She had to, and it was just the way she did it was just so epic.
Yeah, I mean,
It was good.
It was.
done really well.
It was. It's. I mean, I think I went into the movie prepared already. Avengers are gonna die.
Right.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So I think that's why the.
Well, we
shock-
talked about it in the last show. We thought it was going to be either. I thought it was going to be Thor, Captain America.
I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, I've got that written down.
yeah.
So
We'll
I
get into that.
I was way wrong.
I thought that mean, I really did think that more than just the main characters were going to die to make it mean something.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at it the way they... Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Continue.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, if you look at it, the way they set it up is they kind of make it easy to just implement a new team. Hulk can still be a part of the team, but he can't fight as much because of his arm. Yeah. It's obviously
that's the one problem that I did have.
The arm.
The healing factor? Arm? You saying he has a healing factor?
Because the Hulk...
He does have a healing factor, but that was the Infinity Stones.
It's still...
I think if that almost killed Thanos twice...
So when the Hulk snapped his fingers, did it bring everybody back?
That's what brought everyone back, yeah.
So when Tony snapped his finger, what happened then?
He got rid of Thanos.
He got rid of the army.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, one thing is...
Watch the movie. It's good. You'll like it.
I mean... Did Gamora disappear too?
No.
Okay,
she
well,
left.
You know what? We'll get more. We'll get into that because there's a whole bunch of other questions that I have.
No, but anyways, like I was saying, how it kind of sets it up for a new team because Thor can't really, or not Thor. Thor goes with the Guardians, so he's gone. Captain America's retired,
and
Iron Man's dead. Black Widow's dead. Hawkeye, obviously, he had retired until the events of Infinity War, and then Hulk can't really fight. Obviously, he's going to use more of his brains now because of his
intellect. Yeah,
so he can still be an asset, but they really set it up very well for a new team. Mm-hmm. You get the new Captain America. You get the new Captain Marvel could obviously be a part. Iron Man Spider-Man has a lot of Iron Man, Tony Stark's tech, so he can take
Pepper Potts
as well.
Oh yeah, well let's talk about that. I mean, obviously there could be an A Force if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think
here's what I think is going to happen.
I don't know if they'll do it, but
I think is going to happen is they're going to branch out into the new Avengers and the young Avengers.
Yes, that's my thought exactly too.
Because they introduced Clint Barton's daughter. They introduced
one.
They introduced Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. He could be a young Avenger. Yep. And then also the kid that helped Iron Man out.
Yes.
He was Iron Lad.
He was at the funeral.
He was.
Exactly.
A lot of people didn't recognize him at first.
Yeah.
He could be Iron Lad, and then not to mention they're going to pick up a couple other people somewhere along the line, just like they recruited with the Avengers before.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because Tony did have a backup plan if the Avengers ever failed, the next generation of Avengers.
He had a backup plan for his backup plans. Yeah. He was the Batman of...
I want to go that far.
He is.
So. He's a billionaire.
Well, he was a... Yeah.
No, but...
Superhero.
But he's not... But the thing is that he's not as paranoid as Batman.
He's not.
So I don't think he would have a backup to his backup to his backup.
Well, no, in his MCU,
he
seems pretty paranoid.
Yeah, because if you watch Tony Stark's basically his whole journey, from start to finish, he learns a lot from what he does. The Jeep, like as far as from the first one, he gets lost in the middle of the desert. So from then on, his Iron Man suits have a GPS tracker. Even Spider-Man had to remove the GPS tracker.
And that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why he keeps making new suits because he keeps realizing.
Keeps learning.
If you watch, I need that.
But then in Civil War, another example is in Civil War. Rhodey, his suit fails. He starts falling.
Yeah.
So what happens in Infinity War? Spider-Man has an implanted parachute to prevent from that same kind of damage. Yeah. Tony Stark is constantly learning from his mistakes.
And that's who he is in the comic book.
Right.
And I'm cool with that. But as far as I'm concerned, as far as I think about it, Tony Stark's. He only gets up to like contingency plan A. He doesn't have contingency plan B,
he kind of
C,
just
and D.
Picks up.
He just keeps redoing.
I think
contingency plan.
I think what you're saying is contingency.
I
think what you're saying is that Tony Stark is more of a learn from my mistakes. Whereas Batman is, let's not let these mistakes happen.
Yeah.
Batman's exactly. More of a plan ahead.
So it's kind of like, Tony Stark's like, if A and B don't work, C and D will work. But A and B will also cancel out C and, you know what I'm saying?
So my point being is like, if anybody in the Marvel universe was anywhere close to Batman,
it'd be Tony Stark.
Or Tony Stank.
I think the coolest thing that from the MCU, if you watch, like I said, Tony Stark's transition, how he learns from his mistakes, is the mistake he learned in Infinity War. He couldn't remove the gauntlet from Thanos. So what does he do? He removes the stones and takes them into his gauntlet, which was just...
Oh, that was...
It was unbelievable because
it's weird
the whole time you're thinking he can't get the glove. He tried it before. He can't get what's he going to do?
When he snapped, I'm like, oh, it's going to be all over again? And then he has no...
And there's nothing there, exactly. Like, and they're moving into his gauntlet.
And you want to know what's weird? Is the one issue that I have was the whole snap part. You have the Infinity Gauntlet.
Which one?
You can think of anything. You don't have to physically snap your fingers for it to happen. I understand that was a symbolism behind it, with a snap of my fingers, I could.
Right.
But I'm like, Hulk, you could actually just put the glove on and just think about it, and everyone will come back.
Who wants to see that though? I want to see the snap.
Yeah, because there's no
It's
symbol.
so
There's
epic.
no symbolism.
Yeah,
The first snap
Yeah.
is Thor just no, just like the panic. There's just so it's just.
Hey,
a
what do you
snap.
guys
There's
thought
so much
about
panic.
Fat Thor?
Fat Thor?
Well,
awesome. Fat Thor was awesome.
You know,
Here's
that's-
the thing,
yeah.
is that I told-
everybody's split on that.
I told myself I would always have a body like Thor, and now I do.
Right? Thank
so
you.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
now my wife cannot complain. It's kind of like me and him built the same damn way.
I think there was one thing I didn't like about Thor's character was that there was a point where he was really conflicted and really just having a hard time dealing with the loss. As far as killing Thanos, obviously he knew he had done that, but the loss, he still couldn't overcome the loss.
He felt that he messed up.
Yeah,
Well, he fell into
the way,
depression.
yeah, but the way he snapped, because if you watch what movies, Iron Man 3, he literally has a nervous breakdown in the middle of the movie.
Oh,
the kids ask him. They say,
Right.
They said, "Oh, what happened to your? How did you get out of the wormhole?"
Right.
And he runs out and he has a nervous breakdown. Right.
Right.
So it's like a development of the character. If you watch Thor, like I said, he's having all this trouble with the loss. He obviously killed Thanos, but he doesn't know how to deal with all the people he's lost in the meantime. So he's having this inner conflict during the movie, and Rocket slaps him in the face and says, "Snap out of it." And just like that, Thor's ready to go again. I thought that was a little. They could have done more with Thor. I think what they did mostly was make Thor.
They turned Thor into
I know
the
what
dude.
you're saying.
They
I
made
know what
Thor.
you're
They
saying.
made Thor into comedic relief, and then
Right.
at the end they made him epic. Which was, I mean, I love Thor's character. He's hilarious.
I don't know, and I see where you're getting that from. In my opinion, I think it was still more stages because I think that, like you said, Rocket slaps him, and then okay, he's a little bit better. But then when he finally gets Mjolnir back, that's another step because then he realizes I am still worthy.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, and don't get me wrong. The scene
It
where
just more as the movie goes along, I think he realizes that like okay now.
Well, even
I am.
His
who I'm
mom's the
supposed
one
to be.
that pretty much
that's
snapped
that's
him.
Yeah, that
that's
was
what
a-
I was gonna say. The scene with his mom, even
Oh,
that one almost
Yeah.
drove me to tears
Yeah,
too.
that was
because
another
it's just
tearjerker.
that mom moment with him was
Oh,
just
yeah.
it's just
Mama.
he wanted to tell her so bad, and she's like, "Don't worry about it.
I already know.
It's cool."
You're not my Thor. I already know.
Yeah, it was just so
It was
just
really
a
good.
huge mom moment.
You know
and it
who
was good for
shined
him.
a lot in this movie? Nebula.
Yeah, she did. She became the unknowing reason for their demise almost, without even wanting to. Which in the comics, she's the one who gets the gauntlet
the
back
gauntlet.
Yeah.
and snaps everything back to normal.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you guys think about when Tony and Cap go back in time and they see their loved ones?
That was good.
Right?
Dude, the scene with Captain America looking through the window, can you just imagine?
Yeah.
That
And-
to
and
me
him-
was just, he just wanted her, so she was there,
Yeah.
just
I was like-
within reach.
It felt like the Notebook.
And when
Yes,
Tony
yes.
and his dad were talking, and he gave him a hug, like,
Oh, I was
Thank
waiting,
you.
and I was waiting for that.
Yeah,
I was waiting
it
for
was
that
good.
because he's playing like playing dumb the entire
Yeah.
time.
Well, there's that. And he's
I was
asking
waiting
for advice
that.
on how to be a dad.
Yeah, he was like really good.
And remember,
into it,
he was
yeah, so-
born. He was his wife was in labor that same
Yep.
day.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Was the
I
day
really
he was
liked the
born.
way that played out. It wasn't forced. It didn't feel really forced. I think the characters played it the way the characters would, would actually react.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I like that Jarvis was there. That was cool.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, and
I
he
heard him
turns
say
around.
Jarvis. I was like, huh, what?
Yeah.
Jarvis? Okay.
So many.
Well, I like the
characters.
intro. They brought back every single. It seemed like every single person has been in any kind of.
Just about.
The
With
one
the
person,
exception of Vision.
No.
Yeah.
With the
Vision?
exception of Vision and Quicksilver. I didn't.
So-
I was looking to see some
Right.
Quicksilver. I didn't see him at all.
So Vision didn't come back.
No,
No.
Vision's
Did
gone.
you not see
He
that?
didn't get
I-
snapped.
People said that he did.
He didn't get snapped.
Wait,
So
wait, wait,
he was
wait,
killed.
wait.
I heard that
Thanos
people
yanked
say
it.
that he came back.
Okay,
No.
but we can kind of get into that.
Now, because that's what we're talking about?
Well, I don't know. Is there any other scenes that you guys want to talk about?
No.
Because there is some unsaid, I guess, loopholes in this movie that, in my opinion, I still need answers.
Unanswered questions. I agree.
Right.
I agree.
So, like, okay, and of course, everybody is complaining and saying, like, well, I don't understand, time travel. This is not, this doesn't make any sense. Some people, I'm sorry, are just dumb because a lot of it makes sense. A lot of it is pretty basic. Some of it, though, is left unsaid.
Such as?
This
okay.
is Loki walking away with a Tesseract.
Oh yeah,
Loki is alive now.
Well, they're saying that that's
Anybody that Thanos killed in Infinity War didn't die from Thanos' hand.
Yeah.
Besides the snap type thing, because
he died.
he died before that actually happened.
Huh.
Well, here's what happened.
So which means
Loki-
Gamora doesn't end up dying, and Loki doesn't end up dying.
Well, Vision did.
But Vision doesn't end up dying either.
Mhm.
How?
Because Thanos dies before that happened.
You see, now here's where you're wrong.
How's that?
Okay.
Because Thanos actually used the stones.
Yeah. So they explained it actually in the movie, and it was the Ancient One who did it. When you move something out of its place,
Right.
the timeline continues. You just create a separate timeline for that.
Correct.
So that's where the multiverse comes in.
Correct.
So now Nebula's out of place, and now she's in our time, but it's not the Nebula that we know. It's the Nebula we knew from before. So that alternate created a different timeline for her. So when when Cap did not come back, he did not live in the 616 universe. For people that don't know, the 616 is where the main MCU.
No,
he got with a Peggy in a different universe.
Yeah, he got with a yes.
That was the same universe.
No, it's the same.
it was
Yeah,
not.
they were saying
The Russo brothers, the Russo brothers
confirmed.
themselves, it's kind of like it's a different Peggy, because as soon as he took her out of that time, they created a new timeline for themselves because things got altered. So our timeline that we know keeps going. So when he came back, he used his little device to get back to that moment. You have to realize that at that moment, Peggy's probably died. She died years prior too, because she had Alzheimer's.
Uh-huh.
So he had no problem coming back to his regular time. So that time jump set, because even the Ancient was like, as soon as you plug this stone, you create a branch off of this. Your timeline continues, but now there's another branch where the stone is out of its place. So alternate things change. So that's why it was so important for Captain America to take the stones back exactly where they got them. So as soon as Black Widow landed on that ground and her head split wide open, you saw the blood oozing out. He showed up and put that stone back in its place.
Black Widow still stays dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's in the stone.
Right. Because they said that it doesn't matter.
That's what I heard.
It doesn't matter
Gamora
who,
and Black Widow are still in the stone.
Yeah. They're permanent.
Because the stones are timeless.
But
right, you're right. So Gamora and Black Widow do stay dead. But Captain America going back in time doesn't create an alternate timeline.
Yes, it
I don't
does.
know where you guys heard that from.
The
Because
Russo brothers actually
that's what I heard, that they confirmed that
he confirmed that it was
the same timeline.
That's why.
Because if you go back to see,
that's exactly what I'm saying.
If you go back to watch Civil War, and they
Yeah.
show that when Captain America's talking to Peggy,
he has
and they
two
show
kids.
pictures of her having two kids, they never show the husband. And they confirmed, and I saw it. It was Nerdist actually talked about it. They confirmed that was Captain America that married Peggy in the exact same timeline.
They were even saying that.
That's why. That's the thing, is that you have to understand that it's Captain America who's now not frozen anymore. You think the world's not going to notice?
Because he hid out the entire time and just stayed with the family.
Exactly, but what I'm saying is that he created an alternate timeline at that point.
But you don't need to create an alternate timeline. There
If-
was literally two Captain Americas living throughout the same timeline.
But they weren't. Well,
Yeah,
one
they
was
were.
frozen. No, that's what I'm saying. If you look
One wasn't frozen. One wasn't frozen because this is where this might be where
Captain America was.
This is where you might be getting mixed up at, because you got to remember Captain America goes back in time.
Yes.
And it's around the same time when Captain America first gets unfrozen. That's when they find the stone and everything, and he goes back to see Peggy. Now he stays with her and lives out a secret life just with her. And at the same time, original Captain America is doing the whole thing with the shield. So there's two of them living in the same timeline, parallel, living out two different lives.
So then Peggy's like, all right, you hide because the next Captain America is coming in.
Right, because she never talks about who her husband is.
That's what I'm saying.
She never says who he is.
If you listen to the Russos' interview, they said he created an alternate timeline for himself for him to live in.
No, they
yes.
said
that's not what I read.
That's what I heard too. That's been confirmed by them.
Yeah,
because they were talking about that even
again.
the kids have the same power as Captain America.
Well, yeah, that's a possibility that his kids might have
Russo
Captain
brothers.
America's. Yeah.
Where'd you guys hear that
From
from?
Nerdist.
I watched the whole thing. I watched the whole interview.
Interesting.
Yeah, because to me it makes sense.
But that doesn't. I don't think.
I think the
stones are
here's the
timeless.
thing. Let's say right now, Drewski, you go back in time 10 years. If you don't meet your alternate self at all,
can I go back?
And you hide out? No, yeah, 15 years. You go back in time and you never meet your alternate, your real self, and you hide out and lead a different life. the two of you can stay in the same timeline.
That's true.
As long as you're not as long as you're not interrupting
each
each
other at
other's.
Walmart or something.
Exactly.
Theories.
Yeah, it's all theory.
So
that's the one thing about time travel. Everyone has their own rules, and everyone has, because even Time Cop had their own.
I like that movie.
Oh, you had Jean-Claude Van Damme in a mullet.
You couldn't touch it. You couldn't
touch or two objects can occupy the same space.
Which is sad.
Well, it was like that with Chuck Norris.
What are you talking about?
Let's talk about Chuck Norris.
No, yeah, so I think this one's going to have its own rules, and they got to start explaining them a little bit better.
I hope so.
Well, I mean, that goes with a lot of stuff because everybody's always going to have their own theories on. I mean, we were having our own theories on what the movie was going to be like before the movie came out.
Let's just see how the
you know what I mean?
go.
So, yeah. You know, some of the other questions that I have, though, is like what we were talking about. Like, okay, so did Gamora die? What happens with Gamora?
Gamora's dead.
At the end of the movie, all the Guardians take off except Gamora.
Did she go back to her time?
So where did she go?
She ran off. I think the next Guardian is going to be trying to find.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you know. So my question was like, what happened with Gamora? Why didn't she take off with the rest of the Guardians?
So Nebula's obviously going to help look for them, right?
Well, yeah, but you have to realize.
I'm kind of curious to see what happens.
She doesn't know none of the Guardians.
Right? Yeah, she doesn't know any of it.
I hope they go back.
So that's kind of sad if you think about it. And then my other question is I think you answered it because I was wondering what happened to Mjolnir.
He took it back in time.
But he took it back in time, right? Because I think you're right. I think he did have the hammer with him when he stepped on the thing. Okay, now what about Nebula when she got shot? Young Nebula.
That has to alter the timeline somehow.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because as soon as she got shot, I'm like, oh damn, she's dead. Apparently not, because
because it's an alternate.
No, it's an alternate universe. Like you said, it's not going to affect the present as it's happening because their past already happened, but it's going to affect that past's future. So it creates an alternate universe where Nebula doesn't exist. So
like the Nebula that we have is from an alternate timeline.
No, the Nebula
Same thing with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, the Nebula that we have is from our timeline.
The Nebula that came back
from
the past.
The alternate timeline is the one where Nebula is dead.
Yeah, but okay, well that's all in the eye of the beholder. Our timeline, different timeline. I mean, I could say the opposite, where Nebula gets shot. That's the actual timeline, and the old Nebula that we have right now is an alternate timeline.
Well, no, because if you're watching the MCU, our timeline, obviously Nebula doesn't get shot. You're not theorizing other timeline. No. Imagine
our timeline is the 22 movies we watch.
Yeah,
that's our timeline.
Okay,
that's where we exist. That's what we know. That's what's going on. Now, Nebula number 2 comes into the picture. Is from the past.
Young Nebula.
Young Nebula. That now all of a sudden, because you came into our timeline, is an alternate timeline.
Yeah, because now she knows things she wouldn't otherwise know.
Is an alternate timeline Thanos because Thanos is already dead.
But if a young Nebula gets shot, doesn't our Nebula die too?
No,
and not only
because
happens on our timeline.
It's not. It doesn't restart. It's not cyclical. The timeline happens. It just branches off. So now where she died, it's a whole nother timeline as opposed to where she is now.
Okay, so I see what you're saying.
Because obviously you can't say because they killed Thanos because they killed past Thanos, they never fought future Thanos. No, they fought Thanos twice. So there was definitely
our Thanos is dead.
Yeah,
alternate Thanos came and died. That's when happened.
That's Tony Stark's snap.
It's hard for me to wrap my head around that because to me it's simple math. If I go back and kill my younger self, I'm dead.
Because you've survived long enough to kill your younger self. So now you're an adult.
Right, so that's a paradox.
So now there's
If they said it was a loop.
Right, I mean that's what I'm saying.
That's what he said. Time is a loop. So now you killed your past self that decided to drop out of high school. But yourself that decided to stay in high school still exists. So you killed one version of yourself from a parallel universe.
That's the way the multiverse works. Because if you're saying that, then the multiverse can't work. Because anytime you go back and change something, then everything changes. But it's not like that. Everything does change, but it branches off into this changes, this changes, this changes, this changes.
That's why it's called the multiverse, because it's unlimited.
There's
one where you decided
confusing.
There's one where you decided not to get married. There's one where the shop didn't close down. There's one where you're a doctor. There's one where you're probably a nurse. So there's
I like the superhero.
Yeah,
but the weird part is how they're intertwining with each other. Because normally, if you have an alternate universe, they don't cross.
No, normally they don't.
Right. So that's why I'm saying.
But that's what's happening in Spider-Man, though. He is not from our. Mysterio's not from our universe, according to them. He's from another universe.
Right.
So that explains. That goes into
Another
the
universe
multiverse.
affected by the past, affected by the snap,
snap.
right?
Yeah, things happen with the snap.
Okay, so then hopefully we'll
So
get
we're
more
getting more.
explanations as to exactly
Yeah.
how this works.
Yeah.
There's one where the Avengers don't exist, but the X-Men do. There's one where the Fantastic Four exists, but the X-Men or the Avengers. See what I'm saying? So I think that's how they're trying to explain.
Yeah,
things.
because that's why, like a lot of the questions I had is like, okay, because like especially with Guardians of the Galaxy, I mean, their whole storyline is like screwed up to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why
But
I'm
their
like,
whole past story is now anything we see from the Guardians is going to be going forward.
Right.
What we have now. So Gamora's missing.
it's gonna
Nebula's
get
with the group.
so like especially
And
with that, it's gonna be like
Thor's with the
extremely
group. So it's
complicated.
going to it is.
Well, not only that, but at the same time, it keeps things fresh because now they introduce new characters, they remove old characters, and it keeps the story going to a point. That's what the Guardians of the Galaxy are. It's
And
kind
they're
of
always
it's a
different.
revolving.
It's different.
Cast.
Like
I don't know. I mean, it might just get a little too complicated for some people though.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but I think as long as they keep it simple with as far as
If they can,
I think multiverse
you know.
is easy for children to understand. Not as far as like the concept, that the depths that we're taking it. But I think
Right.
if you think of okay, there's this version of Spider-Man, but in another world, a whole
Yeah,
different
just
universe,
like
there's
the
this version of
Ultimates.
Spider-Man.
They're not called the Avengers;
Yeah,
they're called the
the
Ultimates.
but the reason why I was saying that, like, the timelines have gotten skewed is because Captain America was supposed to go back and put everything back so that way he doesn't interrupt the timelines.
Yeah,
He did.
he did.
Put everything
Right,
back.
but there are certain things that cannot be interrupted. I mean, they're changed. To me, they're changed. So if you're forced to go back, like if like it was said in the movie, where you have to put the stones back exactly where you took them from, otherwise you create an alternate timeline. Some things cannot be changed because, like, what happened with Thanos? What happens with Gamora? What happens with Black Widow? Those things can't be changed.
Well, he didn't take it from Gamora's timeline. Our Gamora's dead.
He
The
had
Gamora
to,
we
he had to
that's
suffer
Gamora.
and watch what's it called, Black Widow
Die.
die or dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure. Granted, for us, or as Hulk explained it, it's only 5 seconds. For him, it was a lifetime.
yeah.
So in that 5 seconds, he had that lifetime go by. Who knows how long he mourned for Black Widow? Who knows what kind of conversation he had with the Red Skull? Who knows?
Yeah. That's what they're
at
saying,
what,
that
at
it
what
could
point
make a good
did
movie of its
he became involved with Peggy? Like he's been frozen. Does he go back to the moment where he froze and kind of like, now we're going to live our time, or like we heard? Does he come back as kind of like, all right, now she had 2 kids, her marriage is broken, he's divorced,
Yeah,
and now
he kicks out the husband and takes over.
Does he?
he doesn't kick out
does
the
he
husband, but a
explain?
divorce is a divorce.
Do you think he just explains to her where he came from, or does
Exactly.
He just kinda...
So like little things like that.
In my opinion, I still think that was him. That those kids are his.
Yeah.
And I don't think so.
No.
Don't you think
he definitely got?
'cause
Because she saw it happen.
Because I think
Yeah, I know.
for me,
Alternate timeline.
if they have super soldier serum coursing through their veins, don't you think his father would teach their father, meaning Captain America, would teach them how to be heroes, and they would not help out with the
Yeah. So then by the time they grow up, they'd
Well,
be
maybe
Avengers.
he
You
didn't
mean
want
like
to.
you mean like Superman's parents did?
Yeah, maybe he didn't want his kids
Clark?
to be heroes because all he went through.
No, that's not who Captain America is.
Captain America
If
wants
you have
to.
the power,
But then
Captain America.
that's to say
If you have the power, do something. Do you know what I mean?
Help.
that's to say if his kids actually did get the same kind of strength
Yeah,
as
Well, you guys
Captain
are
America.
theorizing that he did.
You never know.
Yeah, that's
Maybe he
exactly.
didn't.
Well, he just.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe
On
the
his
serum doesn't
family.
transfer.
But either way, don't you think he would have brought them up to even be like,
Super Siemens hero.
yeah,
I don't think so. Because if he's trying to hide out and lead a life that's unknown, he doesn't want to get involved in anything,
Him.
then
you mean like
But
Nomad?
him. No,
No.
but he knows how to train. He knows he could train his children, and he's the kind of
Could.
person that if you have the power to stop something, if you can help one person,
He would
even
train.
when he was scrawny, from the very first Captain America,
Mhm.
when he was scrawny,
He
all he
did
had
it.
was a trash can lid, and he still did what he could to stand up for what he believed in. There's no way he's going to raise his kids to be in hiding.
Yeah.
He's going to raise his kids. You
I
have
agree.
this power, use it. Use it for good. Use it the right way.
and use it to help people out.
Exactly.
I don't think so.
You don't think Captain America's
No,
like that?
I
Based on what we learned from Captain America?
I think he's gonna send him to
I don't
college.
think so. Because I honestly believe that if it was in the same, again, I go back and think it's
Even
the same,
Peggy would let him.
same
do that.
timeline.
Right?
Where he's sitting at home with Peggy and he's watching the real Captain America, his younger self, go out and fight and do all this other stuff. I literally think he'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna sit back.
He's not gonna watch. He's gonna watch by the
'Cause
time
he-
he's that
he would
age.
know
He's
that-
gonna be old.
He would know that it screw everything up if he went and got involved.
No, it wouldn't, because he's an alternate timeline.
Yeah, that's true.
And if it was an alternate timeline, then he would.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So we don't know
but
what
then
happens in the
that
alternate
would be
timeline.
that'd be a whole other story. Now it screwed things up.
Not in an alternate timeline.
Sure would. Because in your opinion, an alternate timeline doesn't necessarily mean two separate places where the two don't collide.
Yeah, you're right.
The alternate
There-
timeline means that
there's A and
you
B.
could literally have
There's
two-
A and B, so we don't know what's
two-
going on in that timeline while he's living his life with Peggy. You're
Right.
You're right. He could have the two kids, and the two kids could be two other heroes that we don't know of.
Right, or Captain America could be out and saving lives. Well, why would he do that when there's another Captain America?
Yeah.
There is no other Captain America. He's
Yeah.
frozen. If he met himself,
No.
if he and Peggy got together in 1970, 1960, he's frozen.
Yeah,
he
but
does
you're
not.
saying
He does
that
not come back.
There's an alternate timeline. That means that there's two
No,
of
because
them.
by
now.
the time Captain America is thawed, he's old already. Because Peggy was old.
No,
He can't do anything.
Yes,
about
it's
it.
been
not
50.
that.
It's been 75 years.
Yeah.
He
When
got
Captain
fired in the
America
90s.
gets thawed from the ice,
Peggy is old.
yeah, so is he.
No,
If they grew up together and
Then
they
so
got
is
but
he.
married.
they didn't.
Okay, at what point do you think that Peggy and Captain America got married?
I don't know. I want to say 70s, maybe
Okay, so
After the
Let's
death.
say-
Wait,
let's-
when
let's-
they were 70 or during the 70s?
during the 70s.
okay, all right. Now Captain America and
Yeah,
Peggy got married during
their
the
age
70s.
is going to be different.
Okay,
Their ages are going to be different. That's the reason why at the end of Endgame, Captain America's still alive and Peggy's not. Because
Well,
she died 10,
no,
15 years
because
earlier.
also you have to
No,
realize
they
was
looked the
older
same
than
age
him.
when they were dancing.
you also have to remember
Well, yeah.
that the super soldier serum also ages them a lot slower.
Mhm.
Now,
Right.
let's go back. They got married in 1970, let's say, in
Mhm.
theory.
That's
And-
30 years
okay.
after World War II, though.
Yeah.
Right. So how old was Peggy?
Well,
She's
let's say
like
she
in
was in
her
her 20s. She's
60s.
got to be at least 50 or
50s,
60.
60s.
Right.
Okay.
Let's say 50 because
Okay. Let's say 50.
when she
Now-
dies in like 2000s.
Well, she died in
Roughly, right?
2000.
2010 is
Yeah.
supposedly when she dies.
Okay. Now, let's go back.
So she
All right.
was
So
90.
they got married in the 70s.
Mhm.
All right. Let's say Peggy is 50. Captain America's 30.
Right.
All right. So this is alternate. This is a guy from Endgame, came back in time, married Peggy. Is that correct? Where is World War II Captain America at in the 70s?
At that time, he's still frozen.
Okay, that's what we're
Right.
getting at.
Right.
When did Captain America get thawed out?
What was that? 90s?
No.
I mean, not 90s, 2000s.
All right, 2010, let's say.
Okay.
All right. So now you have from 1970.
And they're both old.
That's
No.
what we're saying.
They're both, I would say they're both in, not middle age, but they both be at least
No,
decent.
Peggy's almost 90.
But then how does she have
Captain
the two
America
kids? She's
was-
going to be almost 90 with two kids?
They had them. Yeah, they had them. What do you mean? Did you say 90-year-olds can have kids? Yeah, they're old.
But that's not how old she was in the picture with the two kids. Is 90 years old.
The picture was like 30 years old.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. She can't have the kid. If she's like 50 or 60, she's already in menopause. She's not going to
They
have the
met in
kids.
the 70s. They got married in the 70s.
Yeah, when
They
she was
had
already
kids,
50
they
or
had
60.
kids in the
theory.
80s. They had kids in the 80s. By the time she's dying, the kids
By that
are
time,
like
she's
30,
like
40 years
70.
old. Yeah, and her kids are like 30 or 40 years old.
No.
So which means they had to
Yeah.
have the kids in the 60s.
Yes.
No, like in the
If
80s.
they got married in the 70s and they had the
Right.
kids in the 80s,
Right,
right?
right.
She's
They'd
like
be,
60 or
they'd
70.
be 1 or 2 years old.
In
Which
80s.
means in the 80s.
Right.
Which means in the 2000s they'd be 20.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
In 20, they have their life already.
So, what's your point?
You're saying a 60-year-old woman bore 2 children, because obviously they're not twins.
How do
But
you
she
know?
doesn't look 60 years old in
In
the
the
picture,
picture.
with the two children.
That's what
Right.
that's what we're saying. It's
She
kind
has
of
to
like
look in
she looks like she's 40 years old.
40s, latest. So she was like in her 20s during World War II, which was 1945.
Mhm.
The end of World War II was 1945. That means she would have had to have the kids sometime between
60.
1950 and 1960.
Okay, well then-
1965, the latest.
That fits more with Dynamite's theory because Captain America ages slower.
Yes, Captain America, but Peggy Carter ages at a regular pace.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's figure.
That's
the
why she
kid-
died first.
Okay, so let's figure. Let's figure. Well, she didn't die of old age. She died of Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
No, but she was still in like her
Yeah.
90s or something.
Yeah. So So let's figure that now Captain America did not travel to the 70s.
Yeah, because we don't know what time that was.
Well, that's if we're basing.
I mean,
your
we
theory.
could really get into it, but I have no idea what time.
Now
it is.
let's assume that Peggy got married
Mm-hmm.
in the 60s, had 2 kids,
Mm-hmm.
then got divorced.
Mm-hmm.
Then Captain America came back.
Mm-hmm.
They got married, her second marriage. So it is now possible.
Yeah, that's possible. I'll agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
What you're saying is it's not possible for Captain America to go back to the 50s.
No.
And have those 2 kids with her.
Yes.
Why?
For the simple reason that at that moment, I have a feeling that he came back to her in the 70s when he stole the pin particles.
But you're speculating. Okay, but why can't she go back to
because
the 50s?
I really don't think that he would have 2 superpowered kids or 2 very heroic kids.
Yeah, if his kids
with
had
those 2
superpowers,
parents
he
that would
could
not make any impact in the world.
If his children were normal,
That's
then
the only reason why.
No. But
I
if
mean,
listen.
mathematically.
No,
I mean,
regardless of
would it
mathematics,
work?
let's look
mathematics it doesn't exist.
No, let's look at Steve Rogers. No, I'm saying look at Steve Rogers. Look at
Right.
Steve Rogers. If his children were born with powers, he would embed them with responsibility to use.
Or
those
even if
powers.
he did not,
if they
have
were
powers,
born normal,
if they were born
born normal, he would have them live a normal life.
Right.
but still be a hero.
So let's say they were born normal.
Mm-hmm.
Is it theoretically possible for him to go back to the 50s? I mean, hell, he could have went back to the moment in time where he died.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would have gone. I don't think he would have gone
Why
to
not?
a point. I don't think he would have gone to a point.
because he would not step out of the war.
Yeah, no. What
Why?
I'm
Because he
saying.
already lived through it.
What I'm saying is, I don't think there was
The
a
war
point.
wasn't ended when he left.
Yeah, but he fought his war.
Yeah, but
Are you saying that the Infinity War was not enough?
No.
He would-
I'm
He
telling
needed
you,
to fight more?
If it was still World War II, he would go back to fight in that war.
I don't think so.
I do.
I think
I don't.
he said what he was doing was going back to create to have a life.
Right. Exactly.
I think if the kids are his, then they don't have superpowers. But then he went back to the time when he was frozen. He had to go
That's what I'm
back to
saying.
that time because that's the time he
Yeah, but
lost.
Here's the thing,
Yeah.
though, because remember, he has to go back to multiple different times.
He does.
Because he has to go back and replace
But I think he
all
did
the
all
Infinity
that
Stones.
first.
So
Yeah,
realistically,
the last mission was his
he,
life.
He returned all the stones
Yeah.
and did all that stuff first. And then once that's all over, he could have gone back to whenever the hell he wanted to.
No, he's going to go back to exactly when he lost his time. Exactly when he lost his time. Because he did. He
Right,
said
to
he
the
wanted
moment-
to do
to
what
the
Tony
moment he
Stark said. He
died.
said, "I'm going to go."
So the moment he
didn't die.
died.
He didn't die. He got frozen.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I
The
think
moment he
I think
disappeared.
I
that.
mean,
I think
if it was
most
me,
likely,
if I was
that's when he
Captain
went
America,
back.
that's probably the point. In time, I probably would have picked and showed up at her door and says, "I'm ready for my dance."
See, that's where I'm like skeptical. I'm not saying that's not plausible.
Okay,
I'm not
so
saying that's
and that's all I'm saying. That's a possibility.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, it is a possibility because again, we don't know, but
No, we don't. We're speculating.
Yeah.
We're just theorizing.
yeah, no, yeah. But I really don't. You have to. The way I look at it is like you have to look at the character of Captain America.
Yeah.
And I am.
He's not the kind of shrug
I
your
am.
shoulders at danger type of guy.
Yeah,
I think
So-
if anything,
Well, okay,
I think if anything, when
it
they
depends
live
on how
their
you
life,
look at it.
no, I think if anything, while they live their life, even if there was any kind of slight danger towards Peggy, his responsibility is to his family. Okay, he's not the kind of person. He's not going to go back into the duty, but he has a very dutiful heart.
Right, but
From
from
the
what you
get-go.
from what you guys are saying, everything that happened in the comic books when he got shot in Civil War was not the real Captain America that you know of. Because after he got shot in Civil War, he hid out a secret life and grew old for like 20 years.
With Civil War.
The
First
first
one or
Civil
second
War,
one?
first Civil War
Yeah,
when he got shot.
him in the show.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
Because
there was two
everybody
Civil Wars.
believed Captain America was dead. Later on, we find out no, he was never dead. He was leading a secret life away from everybody else, and then he got drawn back into S.H.I.E.L.D. and became a commander and yada yada yada. But my point being is like, okay, there's a point. Even when you're a superhero, eventually you're gonna come to the point where like, you know what? I'm done. I've done my heroic thing. I
Yeah.
want to have my own life.
Especially because he
Batman, and I understand with you guys, Batman never reaches that point because he just cannot give it up.
Yeah.
But Captain America, I think that maybe he reaches a point where he's like, you know what?
I'm done being
I'm
a
done.
hero.
I want to have a family. I want to be a husband. I want to lead the
so
quiet life.
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
hell, Hawkeye was doing
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah, no, and
Right?
but that's what I'm
That's why
saying.
he was missing for so much of these movies.
And
That's
and,
why-
and for me, like I
Iron
said,
Man did it.
Iron Man gave up. Iron
Yeah.
Man gave up,
Yeah.
and that storyline,
It was
Iron
a
Man
little
gave
bit
up.
different, but yeah, he kind of didn't want to do it either.
Yeah.
Same thing. So that's where I'm coming up with the possibility that, yeah, he could have went back and said to Peggy, you know what? I don't want to live that life. I know what's going to happen. I just want to be with you.
I don't think he
until
would
I
say
die."
he's from the future, though.
Oh,
He would have to.
I have to.
No, I think he would just be
No,
like,
you know
I'm
what? I
fine.
think he would have to.
You don't think
because
she would know he was frozen?
She'd have to help him.
She's got all kinds of
Yeah,
secret
she'd have to
knew
help
that,
him
yeah.
keep a quiet life. and stay in the limelight.
No, she would help him keep it quiet.
Yeah.
But as far as him being frozen, it's kind of like she didn't know that he was missing because they never found his body.
Well, that's true because he can't say. Otherwise, it would never happen. And that's why I'm saying it's not separate timelines.
I think it is two separate timelines.
It's all within the same universe. Okay, when I say separate times, I'm talking about universes. It's all in the same universe. It's two different timelines, I guess you could say, within one universe.
So we'll get another
Does
Captain
that make more
America
sense?
older.
Or within one Earth. Does that make sense?
Once the old Captain America dies.
I think based on what I know as far as DC's multiverse,
I'm basing it on both.
You can't go at the DC.
See, no, I'm basing it on both multiverses. I'm basing it on both.
every choice you make
It branches out
off
somebody
into
else
a new thing.
into a new universe.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know we're not talking about it, but it's kind of like Batman and Owlman. It's the same thing. So it's the same. It's the same time period, different timeline and dimension.
Yeah.
Hopefully they talk about it in another movie what really happened because it is confusing.
It is. It's a
And I'm okay with leaving it the way it is.
I think so too.
Yeah, I don't. Big deal. He got old.
Yeah, he lived a happy life.
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
That's why we're all happy about it in the end. Well, at least he was
he
happy.
got his life.
Yeah.
I know his dance was low key heartwarming to me. I was like, oh, he got his girl.
Well, the theory is on Loki is that's why he's gonna have his show because he didn't die.
Yeah, but his show takes place in previous times, right? When
I don't
he's
know. They
kinda-
haven't given much information on it.
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, so either way, we're kind of split.
Theories.
I mean, we've got so many different theories and so many different opinions on
Confusing.
I've got a Pythagoras theory.
What could have happened? I still think there's a lot of questions left unanswered.
And I'm okay with them not being answered. As
Yeah.
long as Captain America had a happy life, that's pretty much the important.
But I think it ended really well.
No, I
Yeah,
agree.
it did.
We kind of theorized on what we thought the movie was going to be like. Some of us got some stuff right. Some of us got some stuff wrong.
Because it's like in a line and then it made a U-turn when you're watching the movie because everything changes.
And it was done really well. I think the movie was actually done extremely, extremely well, considering. That's it for today's episode. I think we went on long enough. Next time we'll be talking about some other new stuff. We'll probably be talking about
collectibles.
Yeah, we'll get back to our really nerdy things. Talk about some comic books. So we're signing off. Thanks for joining us, and we are out.
Peace.
Bye.
Love you guys.